Welcome in. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday to everybody in the undefeated. I am Ty Hayes taking over the leadoff spot for Kyle Henderson today, and we have got a ton to talk about. See a lot of the undefeated already in here. Cynthia, Caitlin, happy you're here. Jor, as always, sweet home Bama, Wendy, Caleb, Philip in here, Louie. We got a great showing on this Tuesday morning, and understandably so. Listen, especially given the past week or so that Alabama has had. I mean, things are really starting to trend up, and we have got a lot of things we need to talk about, we need to break down today. I don't have any graphics for you today, so instead, we get to view my semi viewable face for the course of this next hour, and we're going to talk about a few different things. First and foremost, we need to talk about Bama's wild weekend. I have been singing about March since January whenever Kalen DeBoer was hired. And the reason was quite simple to me. It was very easy to see. Whenever you looked, the January visits were very productive. They were productive when the staff didn't have any time behind them, no real ability to understand who would be on the staff, understand what the landscape would be. And so March was always going to be a big month for Alabama. Thus far, it's proving to be just that, with Alabama having landed 3 commitments in the month already. And I think a lot more are on the way. We're going to unpack all of that next. We need to talk about what comes next for Alabama in recruiting, because March is a big month, but it's not alone. April, May, always going to be big. You go into the summer, and of course, the changing landscape of college football recruiting. It's going to be an interesting class, the 2025 cycle is. I've said it before, 2026, I think, is going to be really interesting for Alabama as well. And the reason is very simple there, very easy to understand. It's because the staff is going to have had a year's worth of relationships to work with. If they're this good in a matter of a visit, in a matter of 2 visits, how good will they be when they get to have those pre-existing relationships that span a year, 2 years? Now they're on equitable playing field with some of the other top dogs. So we need to talk about that for sure. Southern, thank you for coming in here and joining us this morning. Caleb says mine went to commercial. Yes, Caleb, it's me in here. Jermaine, Shane, happy you're in here. I don't know about y'all, but allergies are kicking my butt. So, after we talk about what comes next, we're going to dive into spring practice. We're going to continue talking about some of the things you need to be on the lookout for, some of the things that I'm on the lookout for, and what I would really like to see coming out of spring. Where are your expectations? We have some spring practices under our belt. We're a week closer to A-Day. You already know. We got to unpack it all. And then finally, we're going to have undefeated chat talk. You guys already know last week, I was talking about doing some segments where I would look at the SEC as a whole. If you have any teams in the SEC you would kind of like to unpack, drop them down there. We'll talk about them. It's a lot of fun. I like the ability to understand the league you're in, understand the teams you will be seeing, because it just makes trash talk all that much more fun. So let's jump into Bama's wild weekend. And this was one that I already knew was going to be massive. There's a reason why pretty much, well, once a week, at the very least, once a week. And for those of you that are in here every single day that have seen my segments more often than not, you're going to be sitting there rolling your eyes saying, Ty, you haven't said this once a week. You've been beating a dead horse, which that's true. But I've been beating the dead horse because I truly believed it, that March was going to be massive for Alabama. It was going to be huge for Alabama. This staff came in a chaotic environment. The first major visitor weekend for Kalen DeBoer and company came at the end of January, where they had to reschedule that. That was originally, or I'm sorry, it was at the end or beginning of February. It was originally scheduled for the end of January whenever Nick Sabin was there. Point being, if I'm mixing it up now, imagine how recruits all across the nation feel. You just have the GOAT retire. You have movement amongst the players. You have movement amongst the coaches, and the visit periods are all over the place. You don't know what's really being ironed out. You had planned to be there in the end of January. Now, all of a sudden, it's not happening. Hey, it's the beginning of February, and you look at your calendar and you said, well, I already have a visit planned for that weekend. It's been planned for a month and a half in advance. That right there, for Alabama to have had such a positive January and February, in terms of laying the foundation. Because you remember I talked about that first period, wherever Travis Smith, Ryan Williams, all of them came. I said, this is what you call, or what I call, foundational recruiting. New staff laying the foundation. I always liken recruiting to building a house. You're not going to build a good house on a bad foundation. That foundation has to be solid. And what are we learning? Coach DeBoer, unbelievable at building this foundation. All these recruits talking about him. Once again, I wrote this in my article. The 3 factors that I thought would lead to DeBoer's success. And one of those factors was authenticity. Is that not an adjective you consistently hear? It seems like every time these recruits are talking, they're talking about, hey, Kalen DeBoer, super authentic guy. Like, we weren't even talking football. We were just chatting it up. We know he can coach. His record speaks for that. Whenever he came, everybody called him Husky Harson, or will he be able to recruit the SEC? Well, the SEC is an incredibly different landscape to the rest of college football. It's an incredibly difficult landscape. Authenticity is king. People in the South, because I live in the South, right? The SEC landscape, they're going to be able to sniff out something that's inauthentic for a bad faith reason. Coach Kalen DeBoer has been authentic through and through. That alone will help you start the process. I'm not saying that authenticity is going to win you the battles. What I'm saying is that authenticity will unlock step 2, 3, 4, possibly, and trying to win those battles. And if you're brand new, operating in a landscape that includes coaches such as Kirby Smart that have been recruiting these players for over a year now, you have got to have an accelerated timeline. So we knew. Yeah, Moon. I kept saying this, man, because I've said this before. My favorite sport in the world, no question, college football. Number 2 is not actually the NFL. It's any combat sport, whether we're talking boxing, MMA, glory kickboxing. I'm there. I'm actually trying to get tickets to go out to Vegas for that June event for International Fight Week. My dad was a boxer. I grew up doing it. Like, I love combat sports. Bama was punched. Bama was punched in January. Bama was punched in February. You had teams all around the nation trying to throw dirt on the Tide because what they were trying to do is bury you. They were trying to completely bury you. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. And now Alabama is punching back. And it is some mean punchbacks. And that get back always does hit different. Alabama is coming off of a weekend where they were able to get 2 commitments. Let's jump into the first. You have Zymir Smith, a running back athlete, actually. I say running back because, let's be honest, when you look at him, I mean, you watch him play, he's got the ability to play running back. There's no question about that. But he is rated as an athlete. He can play offense. He can play defense. And the one thing I talked about in my car video yesterday, right, that car video that Caitlin is referring to, I had some people working on a room in the house right next to the studio, and it's loud. I couldn't have recorded in the studio yesterday because it was miserable. So we got those commitments, and I was sitting there yesterday like, okay, I got to go do something. So we jumped in the car. We whipped around and we found a nice little gas station. Actually, if you look, you can see my wife's left arm in the passenger seat as she was there reading, as her husband was rambling as some crazy lunatic college football fan in the middle of a gas station parking lot. I already know I got some weird looks. I already know. But it is what it is. It is what it is. In that video, though, if you got the opportunity to tune in, I highlighted something. Something that Sabin did very well. Part of the reason why, and I've said this multiple times before, and Undefeated, I apologize for those of you that have heard me say this so many times, but maybe, I mean, listen, the first time I said it, it worked out. Maybe this time it will. Who knows? I haven't been worried about the transition from Sabin's defense to this because Sabin recruited incredibly versatile players. And so far, you look at Noah Carter. I don't know that there's a better example of versatility. You give me a better example of versatility in the class of 2024 than Noah Carter. And no, I'm not saying that to be combative. I'm saying that because if you have a player that is more versatile than Noah Carter in 2024, even in 2025, send him my way. I want to watch because I've seen versatility before. I've seen that before. We've all seen that before. I haven't seen an edge playing safety, wide receiver, tight end, returning kicks, returning punts. That was different. And now we look, the commitment Alabama gets on Saturday. Zamir Smith, incredibly versatile athlete. There is a theme here. Versatility. That versatility is massive, and especially for someone like Coach Kalen DeBoer. Part of the reason why I'm so excited to see what he's able to do is because of what I just talked about. Sabin was able to recruit versatile athletes. Think about it like this. Jahad Campbell came to Alabama as a 5-star edge outside line. He's now an inside linebacker. One of the top in the nation, might I add. I mean, you look at the versatility of some of these guys Sabin has recruited in terms of a Keon Keeley. Where was he going to be a straight up edge? Is he a bandit? We'll see. We'll see. But that versatility, what it allows you to do is min-max your whole roster. Zay Mincy, Jalen Mbakwe. You can Keon Sab. You can min-max your whole roster. If you feel like, hey, Zay Mincy at this cornerback 2 spot, we feel like he's great there and he allows us to be playing someone we feel like is just as good or better at another position. Now you're maximizing your backfield because you have guys that can play multiple positions. Versatility is a beautiful thing. I'm not saying it's mandatory, but what I am saying is if you can get it, why not? Why not? And then you think about it like this before we really turn our attention further into the wins Alabama got. You think about it like this. Think about a Jalen Mbakwe, for example. Jalen Mbakwe played every position under the sun. A Noah Carter, for instance. Noah Carter played every position under the sun and was excelling. One of the best in the nation. Same with Jalen Mbakwe. Excelling. Crushed it. Everything they did. They exceeded expectations. If that was what they did whenever their focus was everywhere, now imagine what they're going to be able to do now that they're singularly focused. That's what I'm excited for. Well, the same argument applies to Zamir Smith. He plays a bit of everything. Now imagine when he is singularly focused on one position. Tapped in, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. They thought we had to rebuild, we had to reload. Yeah, listen, Sabin left a beautiful infrastructure. Yes, it was a little bit damaged, but the damage wasn't as bad as people tried to say. It wasn't as bad as people tried to say. The staff was able to mitigate it and then hit the ground running 100%. It was fresh. I was happy and had a top 10 recruiting class. And here's the thing. Here's the other thing, Caleb. I'm going to talk about Derek Smith, and then I will talk about the placement of Alabama's recruiting class. Because depending on where you look, on 3, it's top 10, 247, 24/7 Sports, it's number 13, I believe. Either way, it doesn't matter, and I'm going to tell you why here in a little bit, all right? Let me just make this point so I don't forget that. Okay, so Zamir Smith wasn't the only win Alabama got in the weekend. Heck, he wasn't even the only Smith Alabama got in the weekend, because then yesterday, Alabama doubles down and gets Derek Smith. Once again, versatile. And as I understand it, and please, anybody correct me if I'm wrong, as I understand it, he is an individual that excels at every position he plays. The staff loves his projection at defensive back, but he's so good. It's one of those situations, come in, get acclimated, start repping, and wherever you excel, That's where you're going to go. It's a beautiful thing. Once again, it speaks to what I just got done talking about, versatility. It really allows you to maximize your roster value. And when you think about it like that, when you think about it in terms of maximizing your roster value, now think about it in terms that roster is Alabama's roster, one of the 3 most talented rosters in college football. That's the roster you're maximizing with versatility. Versatility is a beautiful thing whenever you have a roster that may not be as talented as someone else's. Because of that maximizing, now you give that versatility to a roster that is as talented, if more talented. That's huge. Jay says, good morning, Ty. Thank you for coming in here, Jay. Majority of the guys who left weren't starters or projected starters after Coach Sabin left. He left a lot of talent. Yeah, 100%. Ty, I get people every time when I ask them to go through Bama's roster and their favorite teams after position by position, and they go, yeah, 100%. That's awesome, Dynasty. Heck of a player, man. Heck of a player. Real glad he's in this class. Real glad Kalen DeBoer kept him away from Kirby, because Kirby landed the helicopter on that high school field now. Right? He landed that helicopter on the high school field. Keep him away from Kirby. You keep him away from Auburn. Beautiful. Hood Jesus, they don't even believe that. They don't even believe that. I would have asked them, what 6? Where? Whereth? To whomst? You got to go old English to deal with that kind of foolery. You need to hit him with the whomst. Are we going to lose to? Like the Lion speech by Christopher Walken. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, you got to hit him with the whomst. But Jesus said they'll be lucky if they win 4 games. Listen, a quick aside about Florida. I said this a while ago. If they're bowl eligible with their schedule, that's going to be incredibly impressive. That's a messed up schedule, man. They are boy. That's a tough one. The Florida fans need to worry about their they got a tough schedule ahead. They got a really tough schedule ahead. But with Derek Smith, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the composites, he is a top 10 wide receiver, a top player in the state of Alabama, and a top 60 player in the nation. And that's per 24/7 Sports Composite. If we go to On3 and check what they have over there, we see that he is nationally number 45 in the nation. He's the number 4 athlete and the number 2 player in the state of Alabama. Now, I give you both of those to show you he is very highly viewed by the industry. This is a very talented guy. Shane says, Ty, do you think Smith will play cornerback or wide receiver at Bama? I don't know, Shane. I don't know. That's a great question. Listen, that versatility is great. He plays both at a high level. I think it depends, right? Like if you have a bunch of Alabama wide receivers that do really good this year, like a Kendrick Law, let's say he goes for 1,100 yards, right? And all of a sudden the NFL is looking at Kendrick Law and looking at some of these Alabama wide receivers and saying, yeah, that's got to have that, right? Got to have that. You might be in a position where you could use some wide receiver help. The defensive backfield, right? Very talented. Love if you could get some more depth back there. Thank you very much for that, Ebony. That means the world. That means the world. Your son has done a phenomenal job, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to get into this field as opposed to the legal field where I was working in a personal injury law firm, not as an attorney, but just as a legal assistant. That's some grueling stuff, man. And I came over here to highlight players like your son who do a fantastic job, who exemplify why college sports matter, right? And I'm not saying college sports and the structure is perfect, but they matter incredibly because your son worked very hard to get where he is, right? Very hard. And whether your son realizes it or not, he is a hero to a lot of the young kids in that town and in the surrounding areas. And the reason why I know that, because I came from a town that didn't have a lot of opportunity. Two of my very good friends went to play college football, and I will never forget the effect that it had on that town. Right? I always think back to the quote from Coach Carter, where playing small does not serve the world. We were all put here on earth to shine, and by shining, we allow others to find our light. I always thought about that whenever it came to my friends, and certainly when it comes to someone like your son. By his shining, he's allowing others around him, whether subconsciously or consciously, to realize there's opportunities out here and I can push and dare to be great as well. So thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of that journey, and coming in here and the support. It really does mean the world. Thank you very much for having him see that, because that's awesome, right? That's a big reason why I got into this. That's why I love recruiting so much, because it's necessary, right? Yeah, Shane, I love that quote. It's actually right here. Right here. I keep it right here all the time. So I mean it's something that I think it needs to be talked about more. Good stories are good for a reason. And yeah, that's why I love to do this. Thank you very much. That means the world. So you look, we were talking Derek Smith, man. He's super athletic. Guy can play anywhere. I bring up the different rankings just to paint the complete picture that this is a guy that excels. Very talented. Very, very gifted. Now, earlier, Shane, I believe it was talking about Alabama being ranked in the top 10. It was Shane or Caleb, and I apologize, I can't quite remember, but my mind, I'm a goldfish. I've told you this. I'm a goldfish. Ebony says, Noah is so humble, he doesn't realize it. He's a low-key hero in Phoenix. Who else from Arizona got the opportunity to go to Bama? We love you all, and Noah's working hard. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Whether he realizes it, and to the depth of which he may not. But there are a lot of young kids in that high school, in that environment, that now believe there is something greater. And it truly is powerful. I got to see it firsthand. And whenever I graduated, a few of my classmates from high school went to college, a good amount. A good amount for our high school, I'll say. The incredible thing is after Denzel and David went to go play college football, Denzel went to TCU, David went to a smaller school in Oklahoma, balled out, and now is still in the NFL with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, David Moore. Gainesville High School sent more kids to college the next 3 years than they had in a long time. Not for sports either. They sent them to college because people saw two individuals from their hometown who are incredibly well thought of go out and prove you can make it too. Dare to be great. And so I love that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for allowing us to be a part of that. I have no doubt that your son is going to have a special journey at Alabama as well, because it's been a special journey every moment up to this point. So that's just awesome. Absolutely just awesome. I can't remember another one, the Real Dynasty off the top of my head. I can't remember another one off the top of my head. I know Arizona has got some real solid players out there, though. I mean, real solid football out there. I can't think of another one off the top of my head, though. If anybody in the undefeated camp, please drop it down below. That'd be awesome. You guys know you are the best at that information gathering. Caleb or Shane, I can't remember who it was talking about Alabama. Shane or I were mentioned. What, Ty, you were about to speak on it? Yes, Caleb. Beautiful timing. This is what I'm talking about the undefeated. You're undefeated, even in your timing. What I was saying, Caleb, is I think it was you or Shane were talking about where Alabama was ranked in recruiting, saying that you got off the plane to realizing it was a top 10 recruiting class. And that's what I wanted to speak on real fast, right? Because on three, it's a top class. I think it's a top 10 class. Where are they ranked on three? Let me go check. They're ranked 7th in 2025. Okay. So you got it. Yeah. Okay. Perfect, Caleb. You got a top 10 class in 2025 per on three. They're 7th. If I go to 24/7 Sports and look, this class is ranked 13th in the nation. Now, whether you subscribe, Levi Wallace, okay. And what a player Levi Wallace was. I mean, what an absolute monster Levi Wallace was. That's a heck of a story, too, right there. That was a heck of a player. That's awesome. Great. Thank you very much, Real Dynasty. Thank you very, very much for that. This is why I say this. You guys are the best. Thank you very much. Noah's going direct. Yes, he is. Yes, he was, Caleb. Incredibly. Guy was a straight baller. Like a monster on that football field. Shane says, Ty, why the big discrepancy between recruiting sites? It's just where they have different players ranked, right? It's just where they have different players ranked. But this is why I wanted to talk about the ranks, right? Whether you subscribe to 247, Rivals, On 3, that matters little. Here's what does matter. And this is what I pointed out in the video yesterday. I think the best way to view Alabama's class right now isn't by its overall rank. It's way too early. Alabama currently has 5 commits. If we look at the top classes in the nation, of your top 5 classes, only one of them has less than 10. Ohio State with 8. Everybody else, Penn State has 11, Clemson 10, LSU 10, Notre Dame 17. You look at Oklahoma 10. Right? I mean, you have a lot of classes out there with a lot of way more numbers. Some double, some triple Alabama's class. So whenever you have that situation, the best way to look as of right now is the average recruit rank. And when you do that, if you just relegate it to the top 15 classes in the nation and you say, where does Alabama stack in terms of the average player rank, the quality of recruit they have related to the rest of the top 15 recruiting classes in the nation, they come in at number 4. They come in at number 4. That to me is a far more compelling and a far more accurate representation of Alabama's recruiting class. Because once again, right now, they're comparing Alabama's to Notre Dame's. And while, yes, that's perfectly fair to compare those two classes, that is the game, it doesn't give you a full encompassing view on the quality of the recruiting class because the numbers are going to supersede anything else. Notre Dame's at 17 is going to supersede Alabama's 5 and inevitably give them more points. That makes sense. So then we have to separate and we have to try and look at it. We have to try and look at it as an all-encompassing view. And in my opinion, the best way to do so is the average player rank because that tells a better story when you have inequitable classes in terms of numbers. Alabama has 5. And if we were to look at the top 15 classes in the nation and look at the average player rank and ask ourselves, where is Bama sitting? Number 4. Number 4. That's with 5 guys. There's only one recruiting class in the nation that has 5 guys in it and is in the top 10. And that's Georgia. And they're at 10. And they've had the luxury of having Kirby Smart there for years, building those relationships. Alabama is doing what they're doing in a matter of weeks, a month. That's what's so impressive. That's what's so impressive, is the work that this staff has been putting in. Real Dynasty says, I remember when people laughed because Bama was ranked 30th and everyone was clowning us. Where they which to me was wild. Caleb says Auburn. Exactly, Caleb. So that's why I like using that average recruit rank, because that's going to really tell the story. And Auburn, let's see what they're working with, right? They're 8 commits, average recruit rank of a 91.22, so a very solid class, very respectable, very good. Bama's sitting, per 24/7 Sports composite, at number 13 with an average recruit rank of 93.60. The only teams above Alabama in the top 15 are Georgia with a 95.40. You have Ohio State with a 95.99. And you have LSU with a 94.18. All of those classes I just mentioned have the luxury of continuity. Every single one of them. Alabama doesn't. And if we look at the top recruiting classes, Notre Dame, continuity. LSU, continuity. Clemson, continuity. Penn State, boom. Auburn, there. Right? I mean, you look at these classes, and a lot of your top classes that will be pushing, they have continuity. Yeah, Shane, listen, and that's why I said I'm going to be real. If you have a 91.22, that's a good recruiting class. That's a very good place to be if you're Auburn. They're recruiting well. Bama's recruiting better. Right? Auburn's recruiting well. Bama's recruiting better. Tapped in says, yet we are 13 on their site. It's because of numbers, tapped in. It's because of numbers. Because you go by your overall point ranking. And so if you have 17 guys in your class, inevitably you're going to have more points. Right. But that's why I really love looking at that average recruit rank tapped in, especially this early in a recruiting process, really up until about the summer. That's what I'm looking at more so than the regular rank of the class. I'm looking at your average player rank because, in my opinion, you have such inequitable classes. There will come a time where Notre Dame, mark my words, Notre Dame does this every year, and good for them. Listen, it works for them. Whatever works, it works. If this is what you want to do, if you're able to do it, good for you. They're going to fill this recruiting class up. Mark my words. Notre Dame's class is going to be pretty much done by the time the season gets here. Why? Because it's been that way for the past 2 seasons. That class is loaded. The past few years, Notre Dame has started right at the top of all of the recruiting rankings, and then they've kind of fallen off. And it's not that they aren't recruiting good classes. Their classes are fine. They're good. But it's just that you are so top heavy in the beginning. Everybody else is running a marathon and Notre Dame is sprinting. Now, that being said, they have some pretty good sprints. I grant you that. But Bama runs a marathon. That's why when everybody was talking about, the number 30 recruiting class. Okay. I remember when Nick Sabin was here and Bama began May as the number 58 recruiting class in the nation. And then they went on to break the record of top recruiting class ever assembled. March recruiting rankings that doesn't move me. We got a lot of stuff to happen between now and then. And guess what? Bama's in a position where their guys are getting these relationships established and doing so quite well. Everybody else is in a position where those relationships are already established. Bama can only go up. Right? They can only increase those relationships. The longer they have with these prospects in the class of 2025, 2026, 2027, the better opportunity they have to land prospects. And they're already doing a great job. Jermaine Mims says, Ty, I watched Travis Smith Jr. interview on Georgia site, and when asked about the Bama visits, his eyes lit up, and he said he wants to compare Georgia if they can match your spat. I think we're good. I like him a lot, man. I really want him in the class. Old Rock Guy says, too much emphasis on the number of stars. These guys are 0 stars once they arrive on campus. It's all about development and commitment by the players. If stars mattered. Well, Old Rock, you're yes and no. The blue chip ratio is a ratio for a reason. So if we actually look at this analytically, that argument of if stars mattered, Alabama and Georgia would win every natty, I understand, but that's why you have to look at a more encompassing analysis of it, and that's when you come to the blue chip ratio, where there is a baseline. If you did not recruit this many blue chip prospects, you're not going to win a national championship, right? Like you're not going to win a national championship. So the blue chip ratio is absolutely a thing. And it has proved to be good data. So I get what you mean. Development is no doubt king. Like a 5-star, once they get on campus, there's no guaranteeing they will be that dude, right? Maybe a 3-star is far better once they get on campus. But the blue chip ratio is a thing for a reason, because time and time again, it has proved you have to recruit at a certain level. And if you didn't have to recruit at a certain level, that would be highly indicative of stars having zero bearing. But at the point where you do have to hit a percentage of blue chip prospects, which are 4-star guys or better, you got to recruit well. You got to recruit well, right? You have to. Gary Patterson developed real well. Gary Patterson would recruit a quarterback from Gainesville High School and turn him into a first-team All-Big 12 safety. That's what he did with Denzel, my friend that played. Gary Patterson didn't win any rings, right? Because he didn't have a bunch of 4 and 5 stars. So yeah, you don't get me wrong. Development is king. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. But there is a balancing act, right? And it's trying to maintain that balancing act where we need to make sure that we're not chasing stars, but we also need to make sure that we are in line. That's what we need to make sure we are in line for. So it is a balancing act, and it's a fascinating balancing act. But I do love that because you are right? The king is development. No doubt about it. Development is king. Good morning. Good morning, King family. True. True, Dynasty. Development has been a real issue. Like, I released a video on Texas 2 years ago before Tom Herman was fired, highlighting their lack of development. They hadn't had a first-round draft pick on offense at that time since, like, Vince Young, since after the Vince Young draft. There was an incredible lack of development at Texas. Steve Sarkisian is attempting to right that, but yes, no doubt about it. That was ever apparent. There was a massive development problem at Texas. They were massively underdeveloping players. It was wild, actually. So what comes next for Alabama? Well, there's only going to be more weekends. And one of the things I also talked about in the video yesterday is the fear of missing out. And whenever we talk about the fear of missing out, if Alabama is only getting more and more positive press after every one of these visits, the fear of missing out is only going to grow in those who have not yet experienced it. Bet your bottom dollar on this. Alabama is going to continue having loaded weekends of recruiting prospects. Right? They're going to continue having major weekends with a bunch of top prospects, and it's only going to continue. The ball is rolling. It's like rolling a snowball down the hill, and it just keeps picking up steam, and it keeps growing. Yes, he has, Travis. Yes, he has. No doubt about it. Been on an absolute warpath. So exciting to see what happens next for Alabama. The month of March is going to be huge. You still have big names that are planning to visit. You still have guys that visited that are still thinking about pulling the trigger. Listen, this is what we know happened during the weekend, that Alabama picked up the 2 commitments. I got a strange little feeling that there's some silence in the play. Once again, no knowledge on that, my opinion. Just looking at how well the weekend went, I think it's fair to say there are some prospects who are very close to pulling the trigger, who are like, you know what, I already have this visit planned. Let's once again, no insight on that. I read tea leaves. That's what I like to do. Is going to go play because Alabama is so low. Yeah, man, for sure. For sure, a real dynasty. I love this. Do you think Alabama's going to go deep? Majority of the offense plays because Alabama is so loaded. Yeah, you got. I don't think that the average college football fan understands how much talent is in Alabama's wide receiver room. And in fact, you can go back. You can check me on this. I have them on my channel, and really, I have them on this channel as well. The takes I've had. I said for the past 2 years that I thought Bama had some real talented wide receivers. I just didn't think that it was all coming together, and I couldn't put my finger on why. Well, now you have DeBoer, you have Shepard. They are ballers with the wide receiver position. Absolute menaces to society in terms of wide receiver development. So I absolutely agree with this real dynasty. I think it's going to get real nasty out there. It's all about the brand ties, what keeps these recruits coming to Tuscaloosa. And people said there was no brand. And I never got that. That never really made sense to me. The so-called experts say we're struggling. Listen, if this is struggling, I don't want to know what downright bad looks like. You know what I mean? If this is struggling, I don't know. Because Bama's doing very well right now. Absolutely exceeding expectations earlier. Raise the Bar says, also, our running backs will be more complete backs in the system, i.e. running and catching. Yeah, I agree completely. LOL, Bama is the brand. 100%, Shane. 100%. Everybody tried to say there was no brand, Bama brand. And I was like, how? How? Like, yes, Nick Sabin did a lot for Bama's brand. Nobody's going to argue against that. Nobody's going to argue that Nick Saban took the brand to a brand new height. But he took the brand to a brand new height. Right? It's not the absence of. He took what was already existing and made it even better. That doesn't just completely go away. Like, Alabama's visibility doesn't completely go away. There's a reason why Alabama is the team that gets the A-Day on ESPN. And Auburn doesn't have theirs televised. Not a shot at Auburn. Kind of a shot at Auburn. What are you going to do? Let me be honest. Kind of a shot at Auburn. I can't help myself. It's what I do. It's what I do. It is what it is, though, right? Like, if for not having a brand, everyone tried to say, which this is the part, undefeated, that I'm fascinated with, right? Not a shot when it's a fact. True, Todd. True. I'm not sending shots. I'm speaking facts, right? Like, you might not like the fact. It's a fact, right? But this is the thing, chat, before we move on. Right? This is one thing I want to say before we move on. If you know of anybody that said Bama doesn't have a brand, well, I would like you to ask them this question. So does that mean that Kalen DeBoer is a far greater recruiter than you gave him credit for? Because not everything can be true at once. Not everything can exist in the same reality. Bama cannot simultaneously have a terrible brand and Kalen DeBoer be an awful recruiter and not succeed in the SEC, and yet he's going in and doing a really good job in 2 months at recruiting. Right? Like, that's not everything can be true. So anybody that said Bama didn't have a brand, ask them that. Ask them that. Not everything can be true at once because they said Bama doesn't have a brand. They said Kalen DeBoer can't recruit. Which is it? I want to know. Because from where I'm sitting from, it looks to me like Bama obviously has a brand and that Kalen DeBoer, he's getting used to the SEC right now and doing so very well. Assembled a great staff. Remember, Jance and I, Coach Jay, I call him Jance. That's a habit I have to break. We've been recording together since, goodness gracious, 2021. It's been a while. That's my guy. Him and I have been going live together since 2021. That seems crazy to think about. That's my guy, though. He and I said the same thing. right? He and I said the same thing whenever DeBoer was introduced. We wanted to see him acknowledge what he didn't know. And he did. Whenever he was hired, he said, I want to bring in some of my guys from Washington, but I also know I'm not from the SEC. They're not from the SEC. And it's different here. And because of that, I need to balance the staff with people that I have a good relationship with and I have that trust with, alongside people I know can hit the ground sprinting in the SEC. Ladies and gentlemen, retaining Gillespie and Freddie Roach, I've talked about it before and I'm going to say it again. There are some moves Coach KD did that were home run moves. Those were home run moves. Grand slams. Grand slams. Brandon says, you guys have done a great job of spreading positivity. I try and look at it, everything's glass half full, Brandon, right? Because I can't do anything about the negative, right? I can't do anything about that. So I always try and be like, oh, if this is the reality, this is how it can get better. That's always my view. Caleb says the Auburn fans in my family think it's more of the coaching staff than DeBoer recruiting these guys. My thing is, who cares? They have to like it. One, I completely agree. And then two, Caleb, my next question would be, well, who assembled that staff? All right. KD coming to Bama just got him to talent. Didn't have, 100% blunt conversation. I don't know anybody who said Alabama doesn't have a brand. Sounds like something internet would say. Oh, hacker. Oh, hacker. I wish this was the case. It was everywhere. You had a lot of, even like some people in the industry saying Bama's going to kind of fall off because they don't have the brand to compete in the NIL era. I wish it was just relegated to internet trolls. I wish it was. Oh, and says, I just read where the barn isn't on TV for their spring game, but they are the up and coming program now. I know. I know. Okay, so what comes next? We've talked about it lightly. The fear of missing out is now running rampant amongst recruits. They want to hear the pitch. They want to come, see what this new staff is all about, see why all of these recruits are leaving with glowing reviews, right? There's going to be more, and I can't wait to see. Now, blunt conversation, you and someone else earlier, and I'm so sorry for whoever's in here and asked it in the undefeated. I am so sorry. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. I'm a goldfish. Someone earlier asked about defensive line recruiting and stated something along the effect of that they really wanted to see defensive line recruiting increase and maintain and get those dogs up front, 100%. And blunt conversation kind of echoing that sentiment, but more on the defensive side, right? We talk about the D, but we in love with the offense, but I believe it's because of how deep. Yeah, no doubt. You also have guys such as like a Justice Terry, right? And what they said about Bama, where they were like, hey, when I think of Bama, I think of development. When I think of Bama, I think of, all these things. Bama is going to land some very talented prospects. I love that they got Antonio Coleman back, a top 100 prospect in the nation. That was big. That was big. And that was a massive move because it gives you a great starting point for your defensive front recruiting. You're like, okay, you got Antonio Coleman. He's so talented. You pair him with some guys, he's going to wreck shop. So love that. Love that. Defensive line recruiting is one we have to watch. Defensive recruiting is one we have to watch. But I think this is where I keep saying retaining Freddie Roach, huge. And ladies and gentlemen in the undefeated, I do want to say this real fast because I think that I'm really excited about this. I'm very excited about Coach Colin Hitchler. I've been saying this too. I've talked about how I love a lot of hires Coach Kalen DeBoer has made. Think they're phenomenal. But Coach Hitchler is super interesting to me because from what I understand, they think this guy's going to be an ace on the trail. I hope he is at least. kind of looking at what he has done in the past, did great job with Wisconsin, did a great job with them, was real big at Cincinnati. Now you give him Alabama brand, Alabama resources. I'm very excited for Colin Hitchler. Mo Linguist, I've talked about him extensively. I love that he has the relationships in DFW. He has the relationships in the Houston region. I mean, you're talking about two of the biggest markets, not only in the nation in terms of population. It's wild. Real Dynasty with the $4.99. Thank you so much for the donation, Real Dynasty. He says, I got a topic. Can KD continue to replace good coaches when they decide to move for better pay? He's already done it. Love this. Love this, Real Dynasty. What a question. Thank you so much for the donation. Thank you so much for the support. You guys don't realize you just hanging out in the undefeated, like typing, hanging out, giving your thoughts, your input. It's huge. Even if you don't agree with what I'm saying, I love discourse. And I'm not right all the time. And through discourse, we can all learn together. So thank you, everybody, for hanging out in here and participating in the chat, because that truly does make this show what it is. I promise you this, that truly is one of the separating factors, is all of you in the undefeated and your interaction. That is a separating factor within this show and others. So thank you very much for that. Now, turning our attention to the question posed about, can KD continue to replace good coaches when they decide to move on for better pay? He's already done it. I think the answer is yes. Now, there is a theory that we have to kind of dive into in this, right? And that theory is that if you have coaches that are constantly moving on, that means you're winning. That means that people are looking at what you have and saying, man, it's going well over there. Let's get him in. And if that's what you are, which is what Alabama was under Nick Sabin, and I'm not saying Bama alone, but you look at the winning program around the nation. You look at the winning programs around the nation. Their coordinators, whether they leave or not, are always being asked about. Other teams, hey, what's the deal with so-and-so? It means you're winning. If people are after your coordinators, if they're after your assistant coaches, means you're winning. And if you are winning, if you are developing your players, if you are developing your coaches, your employees, and getting them better opportunities, whether that's sending an analyst to be an offensive or defensive coordinator, whether that's sending an offensive or defensive coordinator to be a head coach, if you are developing everybody around you, people will want to come and be developed. They will come. I always talk about it like this, right? Because people used to say, why would you go to Bama? Right? We've all heard this before. We've all heard someone out there say, why would you go to Bama? Why would you go to Bama? You're so-and-so. You could do great anywhere. I always wanted to liken it to this, because we all work, right? We all work. So imagine that your dream job is right in your grasp. But in order to get your dream job, you have to go through a program, a training per se. Now, there are a lot of great training facilities out there, a lot of them. But one in particular develops people who go to that facility and sends them to your career field at a wild clip. Where are you going to go? You know what I mean? Like if you're in any facet of life, like even if I wanted to be a real estate or whatever it is, whatever. And if there was like a training you could go to, you're going to go to the one that produces the best results. And if Kalen DeBoer is winning, if they're developing, they're going to continue attracting top coaches. And then you hear about the guys that work with him and they love it. So it seems like a great environment. Plus another thing, real, that I actually think will be huge in helping Kalen DeBoer is the autonomy he gives his coaches. I think that's a really desirable thing. And listen, Sabin was great, but Sabin was a CEO. He was autonomy came from him. Coach Kalen DeBoer, they share a lot of similarities now. Coach Kalen DeBoer and Nick Saban, but this is what I meant. Don't come to Alabama and try and be Nick Saban. because you're not going to be Nick Saban. There's only one Nick Saban. Come to Alabama, understand what made Nick Saban successful, understand the pillars of which his success lied on, and then say, how can I implement those theories into what I do? But it doesn't mean everything's going to be done the same. Kalen DeBoer loves giving his guys autonomy, and a lot of it. I think that's going to be desirable as well. So I think that when you look at Alabama, it's going to be desirable still for these coaches, right? It's going to be desirable still, because when Sabin was here, it was like a rehab for these coaches. And it's just two different ways of getting a result. Now, we need to see it happen. We need to see it happen in fairness. It has to happen. But there are multiple different ways to get to the end result. And I think Kalen DeBoer has exemplified thus far that he has pillars of which his success has lied on. And now he's trying to understand how Nick Saban was Nick Saban, while also saying, I have to learn how to be me, right? How to succeed while being me. And I love that. The one worry I had, and it wasn't about Kalen DeBoer, so let me get that. The one worry I had whenever Alabama went on their coaching search is that whoever it was they hired would come in and try and say, oh, well, Nick Saban was the GOAT. I'm going to just do everything he did because it worked for him. That was going to worry me. And I can't tell you how excited I was when I heard Kalen DeBoer saying, like, hey, you guys have an unbelievable culture here. And I'm very excited to bring what I do here and continue this amazing environment you had. Whenever he said that, that's when I was like, great. Thank you. You understand. Don't be Sabin. Be you, because you were good enough to get the Alabama job. You were standing amongst your peers. You're already good enough, man. You're already good enough. And I love that he is just hitting the ground running. Real Dynasty, I love that. I love that topic. I love that question. And anybody in the Undefeated, as I've always said, you have something you want talked about, drop it down in there. And I like to rant. It's what I do. So we got a few minutes left. We're going to just quickly talk about spring practice, because why not? The last time I was on here, I asked you all in the Undefeated a question. Could it be better? And I know that sounds crazy to think about. And I'm not talking about as a whole. I'm talking about areas of the team. I really like this, Owen. I really, really like this analogy. And I don't have like the greatest, I wasn't in the military. Thank you for your service, Owen. But I love this analogy. Because Bama is not rebuilding. It's just a change of command. We do it in the military all the time, and it doesn't stop us from being badass. I love that. I love that. I love that. I think that that's a fantastic analogy. Great comment. The last time I was here on Friday, I asked you all in the Undefeated, could areas of this Alabama team be better? The area that I'm looking at, I think it's very easy and logical to look at like quarterback, right? And say Jalen Milroe continued to get better as the season went on. Now he's working with the best quarterback coaches in terms of an Alabama coach he's had. I think he's poised for a huge, I think wide receiver, offensive line, right? God forbid. Listen, I know technically you could go below number 129 in sacks allowed, but nay, that's done. And that's why I'm happy Cap has the energy he has. Coach Cap, excited to see what he's able to do with this offensive line, because it's got to be better. So I think when you look and we're asking the question, could Hacker, that's kind of where I was going, right? Where I was like, technically it could, because it was 129 out of 133, but I can't possibly fathom. I would be so beyond confused. Like I would supersede confused. I don't even know. It would send me. Right? It would send me. So I think offensive line, quarterback, and not just Milrow. I think all the quarterbacks are going to be better for this new staff being here. Every single one of them are going to continue developing, and they're all really talented. Whether you're talking Milrow, Simpson, Lonergan, Mack, they're all very talented. I think that's going to be better. Wide receiver. Coach Shepard is a monster, ladies and gentlemen. Can't wait to see what he does. I think all of those are completely logical answers. But I'm looking at the defensive side of the ball because that's where it feels like, listen, what's Alabama going to be? There's a lot of talent. Let's see it come together. That defensive interior, I am really excited for. That defense interior, that's what I'm going to be watching. Otis, another year under his belt. Tim Keenan emerged. And then some of the younger guys, as the season went on, continued to develop. So now you're going to open up next season with a Tim Keenan, a Jaheim Otis, who, by the way, changed the spelling to J-E. So you're going to have Tim Keenan, Jaheim Otis. You're going to have Payne. You're going to have Smith. You're going to have, you're going to have a lot. Then you have Edric Hill, Jordan Renaud. You have got several guys on this defensive front. If the development continues, the defensive interior for Alabama, I think it could be better. And one of the big reasons why I believe that, who do you retain as a coach? Roach, the guy who oversaw it. So not only do you get continuity in terms of the talent on the interior, you get continuity from the coaching. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that interior of the defensive line, that's exciting to me. That's what I'm going to be watching real close because I think the names are there. I think the scheme, right? I think in the scheme, it's going to really allow for some flexibility. I'm really excited to see how our front adjusts based on the schemes, which, like I've said time and time again, they understand nickel. You're in nickel, right? Like in college football in 2023, if you're playing college football, you've played nickel. Raise the Bar says, I'd like to see what Womack and Robinson. Yeah, 100%. Great comment. Great comment. Love that. Go Army beat Navy. People forget how fast Hamilton is as well at wide receiver. Exactly, Demetrius. I think it's easy to underestimate how much talent is. What about a Cole Adams? Slotty Pippen out there, There's people, Demetrius, this is a great comment because you hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head about Hamilton. But I also think that it unlocks a deeper conversation. And that's why I love this comment so much. It unlocks a deeper conversation. Not only are you 100% right about Hamilton, but the deeper conversation that it unlocks is you still have Henderson. You still have Cole Adams. You still have all of these talented wide receivers. And we're just talking about the guys that may not be being remembered right now. It's a good wide receiver room. It's a really good wide receiver room. Jalen Hale, I think he's in for big things this year. Then you get Jeremy Bernard. This wide receiver room is much better than people give it credit for. I love that comment because it's multidimensional. Love that, Demetrius. Thank you very much for that. Owen gives me this right here. Owen, those were not my words. Those were not my words. This, if we're gonna set it off in the comments. That's awesome. Top of the morning, Clint. Thank you for being in here. Louis Blevins music says Cole Adams was a top 200 player at wide receiver. Henderson was a top 50 player, 100%. And one thing to remember, Louis, Cole Adams, where did he end up in the ranking? Because I want to get his actual rankings. One thing I want all of you to remember is Cole Adams didn't get to play a lot of his senior year because he was hurt. Like he was going to be a riser in the rankings. Like you would talk to some people in the industry. I remember I went out to a 7-on-7. I went out to a 7-on-7 out here in Dallas one year. And people were like, hey, you know that kid from Oklahoma, that Cole Adams, he's going to watch him. And I mean, these were industry guys. They were telling me that kid from up there in Oklahoma is going to be a dude. Let's see if we can't get he was just outside. Okay, per the 24/7 Sports Composite, he came in at number 301 in the nation. And he did that after playing, I believe he only played like 1 or 2 games in his senior year and then had a little injury. And then, he's already a top prospect, injured. He shut it down. Kid is very talented. Very, very talented. And you're 100% right. Henderson is just a different beast. He is so good. Right? I hope, Jim. I hope. That would be amazing. Hale is going to look like a Dunze under Shepard. That'd be awesome. Jermaine says Wiggins was a great recruiter, but not a great developer, Ty. You know what's crazy? There's a stat, and I liked Wiggins, but there's a stat that there's no defending. There's no defending. And it was something to the effect of the 13 guys that had been recruited by Wiggins, something like 9 or 10 of them had exited to the transfer portal. And it was wild. Like genuinely insane. Genuinely insane. Shepard is a monster, though. There's a reason why Sabin wanted Shepard whenever Shepard came into the fold. Whenever Sabin was interviewing coaches, he wanted Shepard. It's because Coach Shepard does big things. Great person, from what you understand. Great developer, great recruiter. I mean, the fact that I will continue saying this because it's that big. Ryan Williams had a year-long relationship with Auburn. There were people in recruiting that felt like Auburn was making a push, even when Sabin was there. Now, I thought he was firmly Alabama, and I will ride with that. But I'm just painting the picture that Auburn did good work. Kalen DeBoer came in here in an uncertain era, and in a week, won Ryan Williams back. When Hugh Freeze had been trying that for a year. Come on now. Yeah, y'all already know what comes next. You can hear the music in the back. It's authenticity is king. And then you hear Ryan Williams talk about Shepard. You hear him talk about DeBoer. Maybe Hugh Freeze, when Hugh Freeze had a year's head start on them. Then everybody tried to say, I've never seen people celebrate for someone re-recruiting somebody. And that was such a disingenuous and facetious statement to make. That made me so angry. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to know my pet peeve? Bad argumentation. Boy, that will make me mad. Bad arguments. I will even argue against my own point if I'm debating somebody that's bad at arguing. I'll be like, you're making the wrong points to try and take my argument down. This is what you need to be saying. So whenever people said, oh, you're just re-recruiting Ryan Williams, come on now. Come on now. Wiggins wasn't there. T-Rob wasn't there. Sabin wasn't there. 3 biggest people in his recruiting process. They won that battle. And that was a huge win. Don't let anybody tell you different. Letting Smook know that I'm just over here doing my little rants to end the show and that he's good to come in and stop me anytime he wants. Really, that would probably be best because I'm going to continue ranting. And we're going to get real weird if I keep going. You know what I mean? Things will get real weird around here. Oh, thank you, Shane. Ryan was a huge get, 100%. 100%. And flipping back Antonio Coleman. Now, Antonio Coleman we knew was going to be in the fold. And Antonio Coleman still had Roach. Still remains. Coach Smoot.
What's up, bro?
Talk to us about this weekend, man. We're talking
Man, Listen. You on point, man. And it's crazy because I haven't even been filling you in with all the transpiring that's going right now. Like,
I read tea leaves. You know me.
listen,
I don't even try and ask what's going on. I really do enjoy just trying to like think logically about things and be like, okay, this seems like it could happen. Even if you're wrong, it's just like, okay, well, it made sense, right? Like it's
right?
fun. But you
Yeah.
got the scoop. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Listen, it's names that I've been seeing that people been wondering about that I personally don't too much care to jump. You know, if they not showing, my thing is I'm only gonna dig into the guys that really have an interest in Bama. That's where I'm not gonna overextend myself as trying to build myself up in this industry. I won't overextend myself. So if you're talking about a kid that's been so heavy on Ohio State and I haven't seen anything from him about Bama, of course I'm gonna just kind of back off of it, right? But there's a name that everybody in this doggone chat is ready to hear about. And I have some strong sources saying that this young man is a strong, heavy Bama lean right now after his visit.
Would it happen to be someone who the Florida State fan base thought they would be getting?
Now, that was an obvious lie because that someone is a personal connection of mine. You get what I'm saying? The recruit. I talked to this young man this morning. I text him every morning. He texts me every morning since we met. Every morning, Kyle. I can send you a screenshot. We talk once a day. He's Bama. I'm not gonna put his name out there yet, but a lot of the chat know who I'm talking about. This young man, we was kind of like,
okay.
this young man. Okay. We was like, we might not even have a chance. You know, we don't. I don't know. It's up and down. We don't know where his head is. Well, I can tell you right now, he's in a pickle. he wants so bad to just stop the recruiting process and make a flip and shut it down and be ready. Play a senior year and be ready. But there's still some things need to be weighed out. And and yes. See, and I'm not gonna say the name just yet because this is how Smook is building. You know what I'm saying? This is how Bama football is building right now. You know what? We're gonna give you what you need to know, but just know Alabama is freaking cooking, bro. I put that on my soul. These boys, Courtney Morgan, that staff, Jatavis Sanders, Aaron Hodges, those guys working in the front office on the admin side of it, they are cooking, man. They speak a language that is relatable to the type of players you want on the field. That's one thing I am noticing. It's not about what they're saying, it's how they're saying it, what they're asking, how they're asking. There's a recruit, Javian Hilson. He committed from Alabama same time as Zion Grady. Some of y'all remember that, right?
Yep.
There's an article that shouts out to the I forget the guy's name, Joseph Hastings. He got mad at me because he thought I was taking a shot at him the other day. I'm saying it publicly. Joseph, I respect your work. I wasn't taking a shot at you. It was about the people that were doubting what I was saying, and you backed it up. I was giving you credit for backing what I was saying up. That's all. But Joseph Hastings was able to get in contact and interview Javian Hilson. Javian Hilson publicly said, I think Bama's back in the running. I'm really thinking about Bama. Like, Bama might be the school for me. That's what he's saying. That's one guy that we knew we would get back. Zion Grady, I knew we would be able to gain his attention again because he wants to be at Bama. But there's a young man in Opelika, Alabama that is waiting for an offer. And if we get this defensive lineman out of Opelika, Alabama, on top of what we just got from Antonio Coleman, and we can secure Mr. Daryl Duke Johnson, and we can secure a doggone Malik Autry out of Opelika, Alabama. Oh my God. You're talking about a trench warfare? There are so many kids right now that are really like, and you're right, Ty, with Zamir Smith. I love that young man like my own, man. When he committed, it was like, I remember seeing a message and then I remember seeing the post. Like that's how quick it was for him. He didn't hesitate. I seen the text message. I was taking a nap. I woke up. I seen the text message. And before I could get on Twitter and be like, what's up, Zamir, whatever, starting getting people buzzing, he had already made his decision. He had been ready forever. to do it. That Wednesday visit was just that Saturday visit was just a confirmation. But I'm telling you guys, we got so many of these kids. Travis Smith, y'all know my personal connection with Travis. Travis Smith, he's not going to elude. He's not going to show a lot of emotion. That's just who he is. But I saw how he was just relaxed on his visit. He was so relaxed. Young man was walking around eating, like dapping folks up, And Travis, he's not shy, but he's not an outgoing personality. He gonna act up a little bit every now and then, but it's usually around people he's comfortable with. Travis was comfortable at T-Town. He was very comfortable. And senior talk, I backed off because of the personal connection. You know what I'm saying? I backed off trying to ask him what's the feels, and he told me straight up, man. I mean, just looking around. This is dude, like for real. That's all little Trav kept. Yup, I can do this. And I love that about the young man, and these players that I'm able to contact, man, it's more about building relationships with them more than trying to get them to come to Bama.
Relationships are king.
Yeah, and that's what this DeBoer staff, Kalen DeBoer and this staff understand. Jamarcus Shepard, thank God, man, I told y'all about my interaction with him. Man, it was crazy. I'm out there, you know how we do the shorts, that me and Kyle do? We just record it on our phone. We get a clip, we record it, boom, boom, boom. And I'm out there in the hallway just talking. And Jamarcus Shepard and Jamie Mosley come through the hallway. And I rushed through it because I'm like, and I end it and we have a great conversation, man, interaction. And his energy, man, I know if he can catch my attention like that, because I can understand, he wasn't saying like Riz and all this stuff, but his lingo relates to what these teenagers, same way I talk to them, the ones that I've been able to come in contact with. So we cooking up something. And bro, Scott Hitchler was a big reason. Him and Mo Linquist were a big reason why Zamir went on ahead and made his decision. It had
how I felt about Hitchler.
Yeah, man. And you were cooking. I was looking at it from more of a schematic side. I wasn't worried about him getting our safeties on point, right? But I didn't know about his recruiting juice, man. I knew he could catch the onesies and twosies up there because Wisconsin has a brand, right? But he can.
Bam, he was a top 15 recruiter in the now understand, it's not that there's only one per school, right? If it was only one recruiter is eligible for the top list, then it's one thing. He was top 15 in a time where 3 of the top 10 were from Georgia. 3 of the top 10 were from Alabama. You had some Texas. Like you had these programs, Bama and Georgia taking up half of the top 10. This man is up in Wisconsin, 7, 8 recruits. He's responsible for cooking.
How are you getting kids to Wisconsin, bro? And I never thought of that. Like it was so much happening, so much positive happening. Like those small things that we overlook. I just was like, how are you getting kids? How you have the safety he had at Wisconsin this past season would have been the second safety they were projecting him to be the second safety off of the board in the draft this year. He's doing something. He's getting talent, bro. And so I like this comment though, Louis. You know what you're talking about. When I turned on doggone Malik Autry's film, I said that is Q Williams 2.0. Q, bro. When I say he's a dog, a dog, and you talking about putting him next to Antonio Coleman, those are your next 2 tackles for the future. Coleman gonna have a year on him. Autry's coming out in 26. And then this is another kid I've been talking about, Tristan Lyles. Auburn's heavy on him right now. Alabama probably might be late to the party, but once he gets to Bama and has a conversation, that's the thing. You know what? I'm gonna push this narrative from now on. And y'all could, I don't know if y'all heard it anywhere else, but with Kalen DeBoer and their staff, their motto is get them a visit. Get them a visit, and you can just might as well cut your chances, cut your losses. Because once they touch down and they get to talk to Shep, Gillespie, Roach, Hitchler, Linquist, and I'm going in, it's not in that particular order, but those 5 right there, you got a power 5 right there that just know how to get to these young men. And then you got guys like Brian Ellis that can take you in the film room and really like test your knowledge, right?
You know how I feel about Ellis. We talked about what I'm
a student of the game.
Remember the name, ladies and gentlemen.
He's not just a tight end coach. He's not just this young man. If Brian Ellis was given the opportunity to be an OC at a non-power 5 school, like say for instance, he was at Buffalo with Mo Linquist, we would be trying to get him to Bama as an OC. He is knowledgeable of the game. He was testing the wide receivers on their visit, right? He and Jamarcus Shepard, they took them in the film room. They, show them how they do stuff. They were testing these guys, great, kind of give them like base grades, grading them out, and listening to some of the things that were coming out of that room from some of the recruits that were talking. Like Brian Ellis is a mind psychological coach that you want in your locker room when it comes to the game. When you get prepping guys film study, Nick Sheridan. I think we're underestimating. I think no, you know what? I'm not gonna speak for nobody else. I underestimated Nick Sheridan.
I might be in there as well.
I underestimated Nick Sheridan. Shout out to the Real Dynasty for the 199 super chat. He says the haters we're making fun of the staff KD hired. Listen,
make fun of them now.
Do you see anybody saying anything now? We're a little bit over 30 days. Well, we're closer to 60 now since he took office. You get what I'm saying? So I'm just telling you, college football, and I've been saying this since KD. I didn't even too much care about the staff. I knew he would assemble a staff. But when we got Coach Kalen DeBoer and he was very accepting and welcoming to Nick Sabin being around there as his advisor, like he was public about, I'm going to lean on Coach Sabin. I knew college football was in trouble. You telling me Coach Sabin has and we're going to still keep his name in there. Coach Sabin has the power right now to be over Alabama University without having to deal with the ins and outs of film study, talking to recruits, this, that, and the third. He gets to just, hey, KD, look, son, go over there and talk to this young man, and you take Courtney, and you take such and such with you, his family like this, that, and the third. Kalen DeBoer said, yes, sir. He don't need a script. He don't need a script because Kalen DeBoer, everybody loves him. Nobody dislikes Kalen DeBoer right now. Nobody dislikes Jamarcus Shepard. There's maybe one or two coaches that you may get, man, I ain't feeling him. And they from the previous staff, though. And we know who they are. Roach and Gillespie, people have their own little past relationships under. Roach don't even have the same energy he had under Sabin right now. And it's not a bad thing. Sabin did it his way and kept us at the top with a certain method. And when people started gaining ground on that method, Sabin understood that he was not, what was his thing? The moment I can't be effective anymore, that's when I will step down. And he didn't wait until it became shambles. He didn't wait until the dynasty really broke down. He left us with a number 2 recruiting class. He left us with the third most talented roster projected in the nation right now. The third most talented roster, the third highest graded out roster in the nation right now. But for some reason, somebody has Bama fans, or Fairweather, I'm going to say Fairweather Bama fans, and the rest of these doggone fans of Auburn and Georgia and Tennessee and Florida State and Ohio State and Michigan and Oregon believing, and Texas believing that Alabama is done, LSU believing Alabama is done. All you got to do is open a web link one day in the past 3 weeks and see what people in the past 2 weeks and see what people are saying. I'm gonna leave it at that. That was my opening rant for my segment, y'all. I had to, cause Todd was cooking. I was like, man, he not gonna leave nothing for me to, cause some of the names you were saying, bro, like people still talking about Caleb Cunningham. I don't really too much, and this ain't a bad thing. If Caleb Cunningham decides to stay at home, I think that's the perfect opportunity for him. Hometown hero. I mean, he's been there his whole life. They've been after him since he became eligible to be looked at. Like, it would not hurt my feelings for him to stay home and be a hometown kid.
Understandable, 100%.
We just did the same thing to Ryan Williams. You get what I'm saying?
That's always my take with Caleb Cunningham. I completely get it if someone is like, hey, I've always dreamed of strapping up from my state schools and like bringing it home for them. I'm going to shake your hand because I'm like, hey, that's awesome, man. I wish you all the best.
Bro.
When you play Bama, I hope you don't get a game winner, right? Like, but every other game, I'm going to wish you all the success in the world. I completely get that. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, man. And it's crazy because, like, people will get mad at me for saying that, but I'm for the players at the end of the day. I'm a Bama fan, but I'm for the players. I told a recruit yesterday, and the recruit called me, man, I feel like committing today. He seen Derek Smith commit. He said, man, I might as well go ahead and commit. I was like, you sure? He said, I'm thinking about it. I said, well, in 2 years, sure. I said, you already got your date set. You take your time. You know Bama wants you. It's not going nowhere. Don't make sure you're making a decision, because when you show up, you need to be locked in. You need to be focused. So imagine if we get Caleb Cunningham with all his aspirations, right, to play in Mississippi State, be the hometown hero. Imagine we get him. He comes. It doesn't pan out. His trajectory doesn't pan out like he thinks it was about to. He doesn't get to be a starter or whatever that everybody's hyping him up. He doesn't get to do it, and he doesn't like it. Now we don't even have him when he has an opportunity. We don't even have him mentally because of all the extra hype he done bought into. Whereas in Mississippi State, he can go with his heart, right? Or at Ole Miss, whichever one he chooses out of those two. And I have a strong connection there with a beat writer. He's been covering the program for about 27 years, I was told. 27 years. And he's the one that knew that Jaheim Otis was coming to Bama out of the state of Mississippi. He had been writing for Jaheim, covering him. They never stopped going after Jaheim after we offered him his showed interest his 9th grade year. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, they never stopped going. LSU, they never stopped pushing after him. And this guy was on point the whole process, man. He's Bama. He's Bama. He just went to Bama. He don't even want to take no more visits, you know. And so I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Coach Kalen DeBoer and this staff, they are cooking on the trail. I mean, Christian Robinson is a relatable guy. Once you get on campus, if you're an outside linebacker and you want to talk to somebody that knows how to get it done in the SEC, that have played next to people in the SEC that have gotten it done, you got a coach right here on staff at Alabama, Christian Robinson, who played at one of the most prestigious universities when you're talking about producing linebackers historically. UGA, as much as we hate to admit it, they put out linebackers.
They do great work with the linebacker. Listen, I love talking trash, right? I love it.
Yeah.
Let's also understand what's real.
Yeah.
Right?
Kirby is a dog. Kirby
is a dog.
Give it.
You got to give the flowers. They've done great.
And just to further prove that point that Kirby's a dog, the day Trav left to from the visit, guess who was showing up to Trav's 7-on-7 on Saturday? Kirby Smart in his doggone hoodie with his cap. Like the dude, Kirby knows what he's doing. He's a great recruiter, great coach. He's relatable, has the energy. I love what Kirby's doing. I hope he get in shape. He looked like he been putting on a little bit too much weight. He need to get in shape. For real, man. Kirby didn't look good, man. And he one of them guys you don't want to see. You like having competition. If you're a competitor, if you're a real champion, you like having competition around you. You like having people that make you push, right? Kirby is one of them coaches that's going to make Kalen DeBoer stay on top of his game.
I love that. And likewise, right? I mean, you now have a different style. The SEC is interesting for Kirby now because there's some brilliant offensive minds in the SEC right now.
Yep.
And I mean, you got Sark in the league now. You got Kalen DeBoer in the league now. You already had Lane Kiffin, but Lane Kiffin, my thing with Lane, Coach, and I'll leave you after this. I don't want to take up your segment. My thing with Lane is this. Brilliant offensive mind, but he sometimes it feels like he coaches with pride more than like the willingness to win the game, right? Like he's more interested in proving that, no, what I wanted to do will work. It will work. It'll work. It'll work. And then it doesn't. But nonetheless, I love that point about competitors pushing each other because the SEC is going to be interesting. You have some of the most brilliant offensive minds in all of college football in one league right now. It's not the pack anymore, ladies and gentlemen. You look at the quality of coaching in the SEC right now. Mm-hmm. Man, is it good.
Listen,
guys, is it good.
And as the numbers continue to grow, we done went from 198 to 305. Make sure y'all running the likes up, man. We got 100 and something. 100. Bro, because people want to know the truth, man. And people are mad at Bama football on YouTube because we tell the truth. We're not going to push no narrative. It aggravates me. That's why I wanted to that's why I stayed away from the industry so long, because I knew players from like my city, and then I would see a story about them in Oklahoma or Florida State. And I know these kids' families. The 2018 to 2021 era, I almost stopped following recruiting because of that era of beat writing and reporting. And then COVID kind of put everything in check. Then you come back and you see the main names staying the main names, but now there are some new names. Bama football on YouTube, Kai Henderson, Ty Hayes, Coach Smoot, Coach Sean, Jake Merrill. Like these names are starting to pop up. Brody Smoot, Brett Greenberg. Ryan Fowler is vetting a lot of these people, and people, Clint Lamb is vetting a lot of these people, and people are getting mad about it. Why? We're covering the same team. Our approach is our approach. Your approach is your approach. Let's thrive. It should not be like this, but people want the truth at the end of the day. People want the truth. They could deal with the truth better than a hyped up lie.
True.
I'm just saying.
True.
Yeah, man. My boy said he said, I'm vegan. I was 300 pounds, now 210. Boy, I was out of shape. Didn't even recognize myself. Man, hey, I'm underweight right now. I'm trying to. Whew.
I need to lose a bit of weight. I'm not in a bad position. I've been around the same, bro. I don't gain weight. Like, I've been around the same, but I just need to lose a bit of it. You know, get a little bit better shape. Just one thing about doing YouTube, you're kind of cooped up.
What? I got yesterday, so my body was tired yesterday, y'all. When I got off that segment yesterday, 30 minutes, I didn't even eat dinner. I passed out. Like, I'm talking about out. And it was because my first day back in the gym, you know, the excitement of everything. I mean, this past weekend, you know, having to do everything, you know, running the show, making sure everything stay afloat. Like, all that finally just hit me yesterday after my morning segment. And then I did what we did, chat, undefeated. We did 4 hours yesterday morning. I think we did 8 to noon. Just dialoguing, man. We took our time. It was a great segment. And I thank y'all for that, man. Y'all gave me the energy to push, man. Y'all really took all the energy out of me. Because y'all were bringing it yesterday. So I appreciate y'all, undefeated, for real.
I'm packing a keg instead of a 6-pack, Patriot Life says. I respect that, Patriot Life.
What'd he say?
Patriot Life talking about his physique. Saying,
oh, yeah.
But you know what, Patriot Life? Listen. A keg goes around the party more. You know what I'm saying? Like, the 6-pack, they ain't enough. The keg, there's more for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
hey,
just...
Ty, hold it down for me for like 2 seconds. I gotta go answer the door real quick.
Of course, bro. Of course. No doubt about it. Yeah, Patriot Life. That's just more generosity, my guy. I think the score when we play Georgia is going to be 42-35 Bama. It's going to be a great game. At the end of the spring, after spring games and stuff, that's when I think I'm going to do all of my like season breakdowns. I always wait until after spring to do my season outlooks because I just want the most complete picture. Not only of Bama, I want the most complete picture of who is UGA. And spring games don't grant us that answer, but I think we would all agree it does grant us 1 to 2 steps more clarity than we previously had, and especially for an Alabama right now when there were so many moving parts. So after those moving parts start to settle, they already have, after that spring, that's when I'm going to take a look at the schedule ahead. We're going to put together that season outlook. But for me personally, I always wait until after those spring games are done across the nation. That way I know. Yeah. Jay Cole said some guy committed named Derek Smith to Bama. Yeah, committed yesterday. Top 75 player in the nation. Anywhere you look. Interesting, Derek, or Jay Cole, I'm sorry. And I'll go through this very quickly. Interesting thing to note is if you look at 24/7 Sports on the composite, he is a top 5 wide receiver in the nation. However, if you look at On3 and where they have him, he is a top 5 athlete in the nation. What does that tell you? Versatility is the name of the game. As I understand it, the staff loves the thought of him at defensive back, safety, but he's also so darn good that they realize you might come in here and just start balling at wide receiver. Let's see where you end up working. Very talented prospect, huge win.
I saw yesterday, though, in a conversation, they're looking at him to kind of feel that Husky Rover role, like Red Morgan. If you watch his film, that guy is vicious and aggressive coming downhill to attack the ball, to attack the run game. Derek Smith, he's one of those kids, and we've been saying this a lot about the recruits that this staff is targeting. You turn that film on, you don't know where to put them. Yeah. Where do we put him? Noah Carter, where do we put him? QB Reese, you want to play running back or linebacker? Which one? You know, who else came in this class, man? Zamir Smith. Do you want to play corner or do you want to play wide receiver?
Well, even you look before, because this is what I love, Coach. You're 100% right. But the thing that I love about this is the beautiful thing for this new staff is that Sabin also recruited very versatile guys. You look at a Zay Mincy. Yeah. Where do you want him?
Safety, corner, strong safety, wide receiver, Rover, like running back, maybe.
That'd be wild. Now that'd be insane.
Emergency quarterback, you know, like he's done it. Jalen Bakwe, took his team to state as a quarterback. First year he did. First year he had to play quarterback. It was best because they had no one. Then the senior year, the same guy goes, the starting quarterback goes down. They don't even go to their second string or third string quarterback. They go to Jalen Mbakwe. And he's playing against Ryan Williams for the state championship. And now he's at Bama. And he's probably third. You know what? I'm willing to bet freshman corner off the bench. First freshman corner off the bench. Jalen Mbakwe before it's all said and done. Coming into this, I didn't think so because I'm like, man, he's going to take him a few months to get back acquainted to playing defense, getting into that. But this young man, he ain't slowing down. He ain't slowing down.
Smart.
So,
that's it, man. You get smart recruits and they can do that. You know what I mean? Like, he's a smart dude.
Athlete.
He's going to be able to adjust.
Pure athlete. I see somebody said something about Bubba. Yeah, my guy.
Great one.
That's my guy. And the thing is, Bubba just gonna have to be patient. It's just so much in front of him. He got to buy into the fact, hey, our time is next year. This 24, 25 recruiting class, these two classes together, we're getting two strong runs out of these classes each. So 24, they're gonna run it twice, being the leaders. Then 25, by the time it's their sophomore, junior year, they're gonna be pushing us. And then it's 26 class. I'm telling you, there's so much hype around 25 and 26, man. I'm telling you. Kalen DeBoer and his staff, if we can keep this staff together for 4 years, we might see an opportunity for a three-peat. We'll go back to back. I really do. I believe that we will go back to back. We keep a lot of this nucleus together. Got a lot of guys buying into future, right? Change. We're just getting into here. Allow us a year to get settled and to solidify what we're trying to map out. And you're going to be a part of that. You're part of that start. We're going to finish strong with the guys that stayed because they deserve it, right? But we're not going to slow down with what our trajectory and what our projection is for coming into here and making our stamp. And that's what you got at Alabama. Is that's a dangerous formula to have when you got the talent already there. It's dangerous.
100%. Coach, I've taken up far too much of your time being.
It was fun, bro. It was fun. I love it. Great
time. But I for sure want you to be able to get through all the information you have to present to the people uninterrupted. And I've said it. I'm a goldfish, man. Like, I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to keep. But I want you to have that time. Everybody in the Undefeated, be sure to hit those likes. We should have at least 284 likes. Listen, likes are completely free. Subscriptions are completely free. Interacting in the chat is completely free. And you vastly underestimate how much it means to the channel and to ourselves in terms of getting the channel recognized and in terms of us being able to have great energy, great conversations. You guys in the Undefeated, kill it as always. Coach, can't wait to listen to your segment. Thank you, everybody, for having me on, and I will see you all tomorrow.
Roll Tide, bro.
Roll Tide.
Yes, sir. Hey, what's good, chat? Y'all know what time it is, man. We ain't got to do no extra superlatives. Run up the emotes so I could do this roll call. I was dialoguing with my brother. Couldn't really get into the comments. We was trying to, recognize y'all. But when when you get good talking, you get the good talking. I told you I was coming back with my energy today. I got me some rest, and it's up. It's up. And we cooking on the trail. Shane Brown in the chat. Let's go. Rocket Town in the chat. Bino in the chat. Let's go. Jor in the chat. Let's go. Megan in the chat. Let's go. Undefeated. What's good? He said, home finally. And this is what I do first. Pull up the doggone Bama football on YouTube. And you ready to get the Smook Scoop from Coach Smook. Yes, Ty Hayes killed it with his segment. Had y'all priming y'all up for the rest of the day. And I'm ready to keep the momentum going. What's up, Caleb? How you feeling, baby? How you feeling, brother? Walt Albright, what's good, Walt? How you feeling? Wendy, Jermaine, Nicole, going crazy with the Coach Smook and the Roll Ties. I love it, baby. Cynthia, what's good? That's good. Train Wreck. Got to get you that green tag, man. We got to get Train Wreck on the Hey, family, we got to get Train Wreck on the roster, y'all. We got to get him on the roster. He support too much. He heavy with it. He heavy with the support. Kevin Lynch, K-Spray, what up? What up, famo? What up, Demetrius? What's good? Y'all turning up. Let's go, man. Let's go. Larry, my brother. What's good? Cuz Dino, how you feeling? Where my fam at? Scott Steve is in the chat. Yes, we here, man. My sister Kristen. Let's go. Lack. What up, baby? Hey, who you think I was talking about earlier, Jory? Who do you think I was talking about earlier when I first came in with Ty? You know what's happening? Y'all sending them good vibrations into the doggone universe. Y'all are picking up what I'm putting down. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down. No negativity, all positive vibrations. It's hard to go away from it, man. Let me tell y'all, more than anything that I saw during those recruiting visits, and I'm not just hyping it up because I'm a Bama fan, but what I saw more than anything was the simple fact that it looked like families were enjoying themselves at the facility. It looked like families, parents. I mean, you seen 6th, 7th grade kids that are, on 7 on 17. They had a lot of kids at that visit this past Friday, and they just look happy, man. A lot of the energy around the campus is just up, man. It's up. Kalen DeBoer and his staff are giving hope, and they have it's reason to have hope. It's reason to have hope. When you're consistently going out there pulling out the big guns, man, and you're hitting the target. Oh my God! Every shot you taking, you making it. We gonna miss. We gonna miss on some. Like some people might count Caleb Cunningham as a miss. Not me. Some people might count what's the kid's name? Javen Hilson as a miss. Not me. There's a lot of kids. I mean, Sanders. If we don't get Sanders, it's not a miss to me. It's not a miss. It's so much talent in that class, man. Yes, what's up, Owen? How y'all feeling, man? Listen, let's jump into it. We already kind of touched up on what I was talking about with the staff burning up the trail, man. Y'all are seeing it. People are starting to change up their whole narrative. You got big time writers, right, lurking on our channel, trying to solidify what they're. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Let's resource off each other. I don't mind it. I love reading a lot of On3's articles to make sure that I'm saying the right thing. You get what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that, because we don't want a discord in the fan base. We want unity. We want our fan base behind the coaching staff. So if one beat writer says they think this person is going here, and I say I think they're going here, that doesn't mean we're at odds. We just got different perspectives. But when the facts start coming out, we need to be aligned in this thing. We rooting for the same team. We covering the same team. Let's talk. Let's align this thing. You may not respect me, but you got to respect what we do. And what we do is very well respected over here at Bama Football on YouTube. So respect what we doing, man. I love it. I love it. I love Bama Online. I love On3. I love what they do, man. I love 24/7 Sports, what they do. I love some of the smaller outlets, TDA. I love TDA. Not saying they smaller, you know what I'm saying? Like, but we're not mainstream. We're not the top ones, you know what I'm saying? We moving up. We're growing. Everybody's growing. I love what TDA does. Who else? Next Round. I love what Next Round does. I love what 100.9 Ryan Fowler and those guys do. I love what they do. Martin Houston. Like, these are people I watch daily and just kind of tap in with and just show love to, because they do great work. You know, I won't vet everybody. I won't put my name with everybody. It's some people I refuse to look at. It's not my cup of tea. That don't mean it can't be yours. But all these names out here, man, you got Joseph Hastings, Tim Watts, all those guys, man, I respect them. I respect them. I'm just different. I got a different style. But let's jump into it, y'all. I love y'all, man. Y'all always encouraging your boy. Listen, we going hard, bro. We going hard. This staff, we go hard. We don't hesitate. We're trying to mimic the energy of the coaching staff at Bama. Honestly, that's all I've been saying. They got some that are Demetrius, but not everybody. They got some solid ones. There's a few solid ones over there. They solid. Can't speak on everybody, but the ones that I mentioned, they solid to me. You get what I'm saying? I will go on record saying I rock with them. Okay, that's just me. So jumping into it today, y'all know it's Tuesday. We're gonna highlight some recruits, man. There's some guys, names that y'all probably ain't been paying attention to. Y'all probably don't know about. There's some that made visits this weekend. And you know, I'm doing one of each, on the radar, one under the radar. Today we got a special one, man, for under the radar. And when we get to him, hopefully the young man shows up by the time I get to him. Jermaine, stop, Jermaine. I knew somebody was gonna do it. Nah, Shane, you wrong. Shane, I don't even know why I brought that name up. That kind of throw me. Nah, we gonna keep it going. Listen, we got these recruits we're gonna look at, right? We got these recruits, and one of them, I think everybody here is excited about this young man. I know I am. Can't wait to see him get to Bama, right? Can't wait to see him be able to showcase what he's doing. You know, putting that work in, getting it off. I mean, he right now they saying he's Ohio State. Me personally, after his visit this past weekend, I think we're back in it. I really do. And after getting a commitment from Antonio Coleman, I think these two can start the train. They can start the train. If we mess around and pull this young man, I think we have like some serious like some serious things to look at with this recruiting class. This recruiting class will be top 3. If we keep this momentum, this recruiting class will be top 3. EJ, not Oford. We already talked about Oford. I told y'all we back in the runners for Oford. I think he, like, that's not a surprise. I think he went back on record saying that Alabama was back in the running. So I'm not gonna sit there and act like I had the scoop on that. Like I followed the crumbs on that one too, EJ. You know what I'm saying? But this young man we got up, I'm gonna go ahead and pull a little graphic up. Let me know if you're excited about him or not. I'm not even gonna talk about him yet. I'm gonna let y'all react to it. And y'all know I wouldn't be pulling. Everybody that I pulled up on this doggone on these segments, y'all. Everybody that I pulled up within the 2 weeks or so, they've been talking about Bama this, Bama that. I ain't saying I'm the guru, but God know how to do it, and I like the way he do it. Okay, Jim, that ain't got nothing to do with recruiting right now. Bro. I seen that news. You ain't got to spam it, Jim. I seen that news. They ain't got nothing to do with recruiting. We talking about these recruits because that's where it's happening at. That's where the hype is, man. You don't know who London Merritt is, Caleb? Oh my God. Louis, I'm past Jamie French. I'm on record saying that. I'm past Jamie French. I love the wide receivers that we got committed, the guys that we got coming right now, the guys that showing serious interest. I love them. We're not missing nothing. That's my personal opinion. As a coach, as an evaluator, somebody that's evaluated talent before, it's always good to stack. But when you start to get quality guys saying, hey, I'm committed, you kind of move away from guys that you have to chase down and do all this extra stuff. When you make your reach and they reach back and you can come to a mutual spot, that's what I like about the receivers we got coming in this class. The athletes that we got coming in this class. Travis Smith Jr. is one of those. He's setting an example too, man. He's not even a loud guy. He's just an influential guy by his work ethic, what he does on the field. I mean, it's a lot of wide receivers that want to play next to him. I can't wait to see. Oh my God. But right here, we got London Merritt, defensive lineman, 6'2 and a half, 250 pounds. I think he put on a little bit more weight. He might have grew a little bit taller. He might be 6'3 now since this has been out. But yeah, perfect defensive tackle size for the not defensive tackle. Right now, he'll probably be a true defensive end at the next level at 250. But he's picking up weight. He's going to get bigger. He has a frame that could carry bigger. He's going to end up being probably like 6'4 and a half. He might hit a crazy growth spurt. You look at his arms, I think he has like a 79, 81 inch wingspan or something like that. Long arms, very strong. When we get to this film, y'all going to see why I like him. London Merritt, you're on the radar. We're excited to have you on the radar for Alabama. Let's get into the film, y'all. Straight up reactions, no sugar-coated, nothing. This is real. This is this young man's film. We're going to get into it. And y'all know how I do. I'll get to the comments after. Wait, this ain't London. Hold on. I got the wrong film up. I'm sorry. Oh, no, that is him. I'm sorry. I thought I had the central guy film up. I'm sorry, y'all. So, look, this is something about London that everybody keeps talking about. They got him listed as a tackle on some sites, but this is what his huddle has. And like I said, he's 6'3". They saying he's 230. Like I said, the kid is bigger. He's bigger. All right. Nah, this is the wrong kid. I knew I had the wrong thing up. Let me get his right film up. Let me get the right film up. I'm sorry, y'all. I was looking. Y'all see, I be looking at some of everybody, bro, every day. I'm looking at high school kids film every day. I love it, man. It's good. It's good for me, you know. I think I got that. Here you go. Here go the right one. Here we go. Now, here goes the right guy. I'm sorry, y'all. Here we go. 6'3", 235. This kid, this the edge guy. Nasty. I want to talk about him, too. We're going to talk about him, too. But this one right here, he's solid. I love this kid. Love his energy. Here goes this film. Let's get into it. Boom. We here. London Merritt, y'all. Check him out. Another dog. Another guy. Bama's pushing. He's on the radar. I mean, just off rip. Off rip. Off rip. Off rip. Just going to be aggressive. Off rip. Look at him. Just going to be aggressive off rip. I mean, we don't have to see the rest of the play. Look at him. Sees his lane. This is what Swarm D does, right? This is what coaches want from the Swarm D. They want guys to get in there and blow stuff up. Attack your gaps. Attack your holes. I like this play right here. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I like this play. Look, stack them up. Stack them up. Set it. Get to it. Set it. Get to it. Set it. Get to it. Look at him. Look at his size, though. Nice little twist. Tracking. Tracking. Yes, sir. I like it. Pad level always low. You barely catch him standing up straight. Even when in his pursuit, you barely catch him standing up straight. Watch how he comes out. Look at his pad level when he comes out. Aggressive. Oh, my Jesus. Oh, my Jesus. Oh, my Jesus. Hey, check him out. Look how aggressive he comes off the ball, man. Look how much force he generates coming out of his stance. Oh, get off me. What are you doing, son? Look, 71 like, oh, dang, coach. Coach ain't going to let me play no more. He not going to let me play no more. Jesus Christ. Come on. Get off me, son. Your feet too slow. Your feet too slow. Your feet too slow. You coming out standing straight up. Your feet too slow. He gets a big boy now. Get off me. Stand him up. Get to him. Coming off. Coming off. Yeah. Yeah. Technique, man. Technique is everything. Jonathan Allen, Jillen, I see that. Yup. Engage rip textbook. Right, Jor? Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it, man. And y'all know I only get excited when you see like solid stuff. This play right here. Watch. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to try not to say nothing. Watch this play. You get motion to your side. They trying to put bodies on me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm strong. I am a dog. Put bodies in front of me. I know my assignment. You cannot tell me what. I know my assignment. I watch film. That's what this young man is saying. London Merritt is a dog, man. He can get big enough to play Bandit. I think Bandit, they probably want our Bandits right around 245, right? 245, 250. You can come in and play Bandit. 6'3", 6'2 plus, right? Fourth down, great stop. And I like how he highlighted that. Look, somebody was smart. He understood the mission. Look, and he tracks it from the opposite, from the backside. Fourth down stop. Didn't let him gain ground. Get to him, wrap up, solid tackling. I love it. I love it, man. State playoffs right here. This state, this championship. I'm telling you, y'all, this kid, I'm excited about this young man. I'm excited, for real. Let's get him. Blitz, Bama, blitz. Blitz, Bama, blitz. Look at him, man. He's long. Look at his arms. He is long, man. Flexible. Like he has like this twitch for a big dude, man. Oh, have mercy. Trying to rip the ball through. Technique, man. You can tell he be in the lab. He likes his craft. Tight end play. We got him at tight end. Uh-oh. It's Big Cell. Look at him. Run somebody over there. Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Hey. Why do you do that to that young man? He just wants to play football like you, man. Hey, listen. A lot of people are committed to places right now. But when Kalen DeBoer and this staff get in the mix, it becomes mixy. Got a good first step. I'm telling you, just a great overall. What you want? Oh, they just got some aggressive linebackers. I was looking at 34 that play. Sheesh, look at him. And the three technique over. Oh man, look at him. Look at him, bro. I like his stance. Look at his stance. Look at his back. Look at his back. Look at his stance. I'm ready, bro. That's that's level. If you a runner and you understand sprinting, you understand leverage, right? His body is in the perfect stance, the perfect form to just enforce, like to force power, exert power, explosion. Yeah. Look at him. Get upfield. Track. Let's go. Young man. Young man. Young man. Did he cause a fumble? Young man. Uh-oh. Comes out quick. Comes out quick. Comes out quick. What he gonna do? I ain't watched it this far. Oh, he's 34. So he wore 34 sometimes. I was about to say, because 34 looked like him on that other clip, didn't it? Somebody said that poor child. 34 looked like him on the other clip. Oh, that makes sense. He wore 34 sometime. Got enough. Look, they double teaming my boy. Oh, they double teaming my boy. They double teaming my boy. I like it, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but yeah. London, and hopefully we looking at the right guy, man. Did he transfer? Somebody give me some, because yesterday when it got sent to me, I was like, okay, this looks like him, right? Because I seen him Friday. This is him. This got to be him. So y'all double check. Fact check me, y'all. Fact check me. Yes, let's move on to the next one, man. We got a guy that's under the radar here in the state, class of 2026. I love to get on these guys because, like I said, they're not getting the pop that they should be getting, right? In my opinion, they just not getting the pop they should be getting. So I'm gonna jump on this guy here. Hold on. I'm gonna put y'all on this guy and shout out to one of my guys, man, on my team, man. Doesn't want his name mentioned. You know, he's not one of those guys. He's a good guy, one of my guys, man. And yeah, he put me onto this guy out of Saraland. I know Saraland is producing some quality. You got Antonio Coleman committed. We got Ryan Williams from Saraland. They got a quarterback in KJ Lacey that, you know, I'm not sure if Alabama's really pushing for him. Doesn't necessarily fit the mold, but you talking about having his interest. That's always good, right? Right? Another Saraland guy. Facts. What's good, John? Let me get to the chat, man. Y'all know I get excited. Let me get to some of the chat in here. I'm sorry, y'all. I get excited, man. I love watching high school kids do what they do, bro. I love watching high school kids do what they do, and they come with like a different type of energy. Can't go wrong with IMG player. The coaching and development is at a high level. Facts. Another literal bear kind of reminds me of Alexander's high school. What you know about, man? Come on, man. We need unblockable big bar of soap, Smoot. Hey, Antonio Coleman, that's him. And I'm telling you, it's another kid out of Malik Autry. I don't know what Alabama's waiting on. I might have to, hey, listen, I know where Freddie Roach live at. I might have to just kind of like go drop a note card or something on his windshield before he head out to work one morning on some stalker stuff, because it's some talent. And I believe a lot of these kids want to be at Bama. They just waiting for the offers. And you know what I do like about this staff? They don't take bait. They do their research. They do their research. They really do personality checks, right? Because they have a persona that they want this team to have at different levels, different areas. They have personality checks, and I love what they do, and I like their style. I like what this staff is doing. Him paired up with Noah Carter, QB Reese, Sterling Dixon, Quay Russaw, like getting to play behind those guys for his first year. Come on, man. Telling you, we got something special brewing. That guy had a little Timmy moment, as a Coach Hayes loves to say. Facts. You truly, bro. You truly, Kareem. For the swarm defense, we're going to need aggressive guys. Exactly. And a lot of the names that you're seeing, you turn that film on. QB Reese is the perfect example. I think QB Reese is going to be our next Reuben Foster. I really do. Noah Carter is probably going to be more of the CJ Mosley, rangy guy that can play on either side. I'd say Noah Carter is probably going to be, CJ Mosley. CJ Mosley that's who Noah Carter gives me feels of. Yeah, I remember how athletic CJ Mosley was. They will get that pop as 15 of the 5 stars right now will probably be jumped. It's all good. It's him, Smoot. I am seeing the same videos. Okay, so bet. Appreciate you. I just wanted to make sure I was right. Y'all know folks get mad at me because I have a mistake. I'll be human, so I'm just making sure I'm right. Smoot, Darrell Johnson, Quanell, Farrakhan, and Luke Mintz commit next. Let me tell you, I'm not gonna speak on nothing that I don't know, but you are very close. And you might have been listening to the Q's and keys I've been putting out and some of the other staff. Yes, you're very close. We are strong for all three of those names. I'm telling you right now, I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. Oh, yeah. He's gonna be smarter. He's gonna be smarter. QB Reese is definitely an IQ kid, but he gives me Reuben Foster athleticism and aggression. Well, that's I mean, not necessarily the same fire, but he's gonna grow. He's gonna continue to get weight on him. Let's talk about Deshaun Spencer, man. Deshaun Spencer is the guy. And let me text my guy. Because I want to make sure he's in here. So Kyle gonna be running a little late, which is perfect because we got started on our segment late, which is cool. That's perfect. It works out perfect for us. Thank God. Look, because me and Ty get caught up, man. So Kyle gonna be on a little bit late. It's cool. We're gonna let him run it. We're gonna let him run it when he do come in. So here we got a running back recruit out of Saraland, 5'11", 170. Not the biggest, right? But you look at the style of running backs that we're bringing in, they're not all huge. Daniel Hill is the big back, and then you got some guys that came in around the same size. Justice Haynes came in college ready. Jan Miller he came in college ready. Richard Young came in college ready. This is going to be another guy. You might be able to play this guy as a slot. Emmanuel Henderson, like that's what this guy is. He's like Emmanuel Henderson, and y'all are going to see on the film why I am excited about him and why I'm wondering he's under the radar. Why is he under the radar? This is a hidden gem in the state of Alabama, right? It's a hidden gem. I'm gonna show y'all why. Y'all gonna be like, okay, Smook don't be capping. Smook don't just hype folks up for no reason. Y'all ready to get into it? Give me some fire emojis in the chat. And before we even jump into this one, let's take a quick break. Let's give a shout out to our sponsors. I almost forgot about our sponsors. Talking to Ty, he almost made me forget about our sponsors. Let's give a shout out to our sponsors and recognize them. We talking about Residence Inn in Ocean City, Maryland. We got the Rogue Shop and .com with the CBD. You know what I'm saying? About to order me some of that. My back has been killing me. I'm only 2 days, not even 2 days fully into in my gym, and my back is already acting up again. So get me some of that CBD. And then shout out to Demetrius Maynard and the Maynard Group. Y'all see Demetrius, Big Money Meat, you know what I'm saying, in the chat all the time. That they some sponsors. They support what we're doing, and we appreciate you. Here's a shout out to our sponsors. Y'all check them.
Special thanks to our sponsor, Residence in Ocean City, Maryland. Guests can book at residenceinOC.com. Use the promo code LPR for special Bama football pricing up to 20% off. Also, go to the rogueshop.com. Use the promo code Bama. You get legal CBD. For me, personally, I like the topical oil. You know how intense my workouts are, right? So I like the topical oil. I like to rub that on my back, whatever, after those cinder blocks. So go to their website, cruise down, look through their website, and definitely check out rogueshop.com. And like I said, I like the topical. Again, the promo code is BAMA. Also, think about becoming a fan funder right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Become a part of the Undefeated as low as $2.99 a month. That's 10 cents a day. How do you do this? Make sure you're logged into your account. This is on a computer. You can also do this on your phone and look for the tab that says membership. Once you click membership, you can see different options. You can see an upgrade button right there to the right if you want to go through the different levels. We have fan funder videos from the staff right here at Bama Football on YouTube. Very easy to navigate. Let us know if you have questions inside the comment box when trying to upgrade or renew your fan funder membership right here on Bama Football on YouTube. And of course, if you want to rock that undefeated gear, check out our merch store located at the bottom of the videos. We appreciate Patriot Life, Cynthia, Antoine, Caitlin, and to everybody else that supports us right here on Bama Football on YouTube.
Yes, sir. Roll Tide, man. Appreciate y'all support. Everybody, all the fan funders, everybody that comes in, drops a like, drops a comment, shares the stream, joins the fan funder. We appreciate you heavily. And we, it doesn't go unnoticed, y'all. It does not go unnoticed. Let's jump into my guy, Deshaun Spencer's film, running back out of Saraland, class of 2026. Under the radar, not getting any Bama looks right now. If we can give him an opportunity here on Bama Football on YouTube, let's do it, y'all. So, y'all know what I like to do. I like for y'all to be honest in the comments. I like for y'all to tell the truth. Tell me, am I hyping him up or am I not? Be honest and understand. Let's be respectable at the end of the day. I say that about all these recruits. I don't care if y'all know about them or not. Let's be respectable. This young man is out there working his craft. He's doing his thing. Be respectable. Give some real evaluation. Give some insight. Aiden Kane took a lot of y'all comments and he went in the lab and he saw some things. And guess what? He shows up to a camp this past weekend and he's dogging 4 stars and 5 stars. As a defensive tackle, Aiden Kane is going to be the next. Telling you, he going to camp at Bama, and once he does, we will. Man. Deshaun Spencer. Deshaun Spencer's everybody. Deshaun Spencer, everybody. Deshaun Spencer, everybody. Deshaun Spencer, everybody. I'm trying to listen. Deshaun Spencer, everybody. Look at the patience. Vision. He can get to the perimeter on you. Quick. Set you up. Deshaun Spencer, everybody. Deshaun, man, I'm telling y'all, bro. This is I don't buy into hype, y'all. I don't buy into hype. I look at quality. I don't buy into hype, y'all. Get up in there. Get skinny. Oh, break them down. Get up. Oh, get them knees up, Deshaun. Get them knees up. Get them knees up. He probably said the same thing to himself. Oh, get up. Get up. Come on. Separate. Yes. Separate. I love it. Sees the lane. He gets it. Yes, sir. This young man. Come on, Deshaun. All right, this is where I think he creates value for himself. Hold on, before I let y'all watch this. This is where I think he creates value for himself as a recruit, right? Because he's a true running back. May not have the initial size coming into college, right? May not. He might get up to 185 max by the end of his senior year. May not have the initial size, but he's wide receiver size with running back ability. Same thing that we saw from Emmanuel Henderson. Burner. Watch what he does on the special teams. I'm telling you, watch. Just watch. Understands the mission. Understands the mission and the leverage. Listen, and I don't know if he scored on this one, but he understood the mission and the leverage of what happened, right? They kick it to his side. They give him a left. They give him a right call. Guess what he does? Boom. Vision. You trust the call. You don't try to make your own play. You trust the call. Execution by the others, and you trust your guys. Slippery. Very decisive runner too, y'all. He's not gonna try to run nobody over. He's very decisive though. He picks his spots perfect. I like this play too here. Heady step. Get in there. Keep patience. Give me back. Oh, where we going? Oh, back up. I ain't got to try to outrun you to the sideline. Let me get back up north. Let me get north. Just watch it. Screen. And he got hands. Kenyon Drake. When my bro that sent it to me, soon as I started looking at it, we were saying it at the same time. Kenyon Drake. Same quickness and agility. Same fire. He probably going to grow another inch or two, right? Might be 6'1", 6'2". Jesus, man. Look at him. Set him up. Don't waste no time. Don't slow down your momentum trying to shimmy. Give him something strong. Give him a hard lean so you can push off that foot. Get yourself some power going upfield. Get you some force going upfield. Look at him. What you going to do with it? Back. Oh, yeah. Setting it up. Yes, sir. Way to reach. I love it. He's a natural with the ball, too. Catching the ball. He's natural. Okay. Kind of overextended. We don't want that. We don't want that overextended. You get called for a hold on that one. You gotta come a little bit more controlled. I like the aggressiveness, though. Come in a little bit more controlled. Get it lower, drop your hips a little bit. Get a little bit lower. So you can start squaring them up, right? Smart play by the quarterback, though, to help him set it up. And then I like how he just kind of turned. The technique at the end was good. Trying to get your hips around, trying to get your butt around. Telling you you're running. And see that you overextend, though. That could be a holding call. We don't want that. I know that's something he looking at. He probably sees that now and say, oh, yeah. Yeah, you think Kenyon Drake was faster than this young man? I don't see too much of a separation. I don't see too much of a difference. And Kenyon Drake had a long. Oh my Jesus! Somebody in the chat just asked me how's his hands. I mean, an underthrown pass. Was able to slow down as a running back and turn around and get it. He lined up in the slot on that play. Decisive, man. Decisive. I love that kid's film. Let's rate him, y'all. I'm giving him a strong 4-star rating. I'm giving him a strong 4-star rating. We got to get this kid at the camp. That's the only reason he's not being rated. We got to get him to a camp. Deshaun Spencer, if you don't have anybody in your corner right now telling you to get to a camp, I want you to get to a camp, young man. If anybody could get me in touch with Deshaun Spencer or anybody that knows, you know, where he at, like, I will. What? You give him a 4-star, 94 rating? That's strong. I was looking at more like an 89, 91, somewhere around there. That's what I'm looking at. Who was the run B who wore number 5 in 09? 09. It wasn't Clark, was it? No, that's a little bit further down. Number 5. 09. That's Ingram. 09 is Ingram. Ingram Richardson, right? I don't know, man. Was it Upchurch? Roy Upchurch, Louis. Roy Upchurch. Yeah, Frank. Yep. Roy Upchurch. He was 08. Yeah, because Upchurch got the game winner. He had to go ahead touchdown against was it Auburn? He had a go ahead touchdown? Scarborough wore number 9, Simply Tim. Scarborough wore number 9. Roy Upchurch. Yeah, now y'all running it in. I'm seeing y'all comments now. Yep, Roy Upchurch. Yeah, Roy Upchurch. See? I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Roy Upchurch. I can see that. But, you know, that's who I compare Kenyon Drake to, but I see a lot more speed from Kenyon Drake, and I see similar from Deshaun Spencer. I really do. He might come in and have an Emmanuel Henderson type of transition if he can't get up to that 200-pound range. Because and it's not like a must to be 200 pounds at running back now at the college level. You see guys coming out of there at 185 still doing work. You know, but you definitely want some longevity. And in this style of offense, man, he could be a screen guy, you know, and continue to build his wide receiver repertoire. We didn't see any routes from him. So that would be the reason why I think if he gets picked up as a running back, if he gets on the radar as a running back, they're going to have to say, okay, this is something that's a developmental piece. We could develop him into a strong slot receiver, somebody you could put in your jet motions, your jet sweeps, right? Y'all see my mic keep sliding on me? But somebody you could put in your jet sweeps, you know, you could extension of the run game with your RPOs, put them in the slot, give him bubbles off of RPOs, right? Get him out on the perimeter. You clearly could see he can create after the ball is, you know, with the ball in his hands, and then he can get yards after the catch. Strong runner, always finishes forward, right? I like what I've seen out of him. If I had to rate him as a strong 4-star, and I'm saying like a 90.8, 91, somewhere around that range. Overall composite score for me. Yeah, Chris, I agree. Chris Comp, I agree. He's a little, honestly, a lot faster than Roy Upchurch. A lot faster. Hey, for somebody in my chat, for somebody in the chat that's caught up to the live, tell everybody to click the live button. Cause some of y'all behind. Y'all commented like 3 hours ago. There you go. UAB to Mississippi State talent, maybe. If this kid camps at Alabama, what we'll be losing in the next 2 years, he could have an opportunity. Y'all see his on roster comparison, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start saying ORCs, on roster comparison. Emmanuel Henderson. Emmanuel Henderson gonna be there this year, and he gonna be there next year. Then he's gonna be gone. You get a guy like this to come in and play behind the likes of Bubba Hampton or who else in this upcoming class wide receivers that's gonna be in that slot and might have to, Bubba Hampton. Who else? I'm just drawing a blank right now, wide receiver wise. Amari Jefferson. Those two guys, like, they're gonna be slot guys for us. And I see this young man, he could possibly come in and fill that type of role. You get what I'm saying? So I like it. I like it. On roster comparison, Jeremy Bernard. Nah. He ain't big enough. Jeremy Bernard is big. I don't think y'all realize how big Jeremy Bernard is. Jeremy Bernard is 6'1", 6'2", I think, 6'1", like 210, 200. Tim Nolan, what's good, my brother? How you feeling? Not so much Kobe Prentice. Kobe Prentice is a route technician, man. This young man here, he's not a wide receiver by nature. He can be. He can develop into one. Cole Adams, he's not. Cole Adams is a route technician too. He's not a running back. I'm comparing this young man to on roster comparison right now. Emmanuel Henderson. I'm gonna stick with Emmanuel Henderson. 193 of 243. That's pretty solid for him to not be camping. That's pretty solid. Yeah, Jeremy Bernard, him and Kendrick Law are similar builds, man. He's just a little bit taller than Kendrick. He's in the slot, but I'm saying still, even, you're right. I thought you was talking about the comparison. I'm talking about on roster comparison for Deshaun Spencer. That's what we kind of talking about. See, y'all be so behind. Y'all be having your own conversations. Nowadays, running back at 190, 195 are good to have to be more versatile. Facts. That's what I was saying. So you get a receiving back. That's what usually most good offenses, they have a back that is great out the backfield. Like Jan Miller right now, he's a great receiving back. Justice Haynes got hands too, but you're talking about somebody that that has a specialty. Jan Miller can catch. Jan Miller you can split him out, motion him out to the X, and it not be a decoy. You got to watch him. Owen Davis, you asked it right as I was answering it, huh? Henderson is 6'1". Yeah, Henderson is 6'1". So you look at this young man. You look at Deshaun Spencer, 5'11", 6 foot. When we were recruiting Henderson out of high school, Emmanuel Henderson, they had him at 5'11", 190. Now he's 6'1". So you see these guys. Kevin Riley is 195. Yup. Daniel Hill like 220, 225, something like that. I think Jam is better than Hanks. Whoa, Dwight, you pushing it. Jam is great. Not good, but great. But Justice Haynes is him. Dwight, I wouldn't lie to you, bro. Dwight, I ain't gonna lie to you. Justice Haynes gonna be better than Najee Harris. He's gonna be better than Mark Ingram, all the ones that got Heisman and all that looks. Justice Haynes is gonna be better than all of them. Derrick Henry is on record talking about this young man. Oh, quick story though. I went by Julio Jones' dealership yesterday. His car dealership yesterday. Julio Jones Kia. It's crazy because like they got the stickers with his autograph. They got stickers on all the cars. So you got like when you buy a car from his lot, his autograph already. Got his own tag. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Hey, shout out to the 230 in the chat, man. We had our lunch hour people come through, show love. You know what I'm saying? Or our late hour, early lunch people come through. I love when y'all hang around, man. I love when y'all hang around. Appreciate y'all for hanging out, man. Y'all seen me last night. I ain't have no energy. My eyes was low. I went back and watched the stream. I felt so bad. I had to call Kyle, y'all. I had to call Kyle and tell him like, man, I'm sorry, bro. That ain't what I want to put out there. And I was glad. I had to thank Jarek for staying on with me, and we was able to give y'all some good content, some good dialogue. But yeah, I apologize for last night again, y'all. My body, I didn't listen to my body, and I'm learning now. This is a different level of grind for me. On this level, I've always done content creation. I've always been able to stay up till 3-4 o'clock in the morning, whether it was streaming a game or doing some edits or something. But yeah, I apologize, and I'm kicking back. Y'all see, this is me. Y'all know this, Smoot. I'm kicking back. My body's getting there. Wait till I get in shape. Y'all really gonna think something wrong with me. Y'all really gonna think I'm doing some drugs or something. Somebody said, "Hey, y'all want to? Hey, we could debate it. Reality or reach? I'll put it in the chat for y'all. I'll do it. I'll give y'all one. Hold on. I'll give y'all one just because. Good. Hey, y'all been doing it in the chat. As a matter of fact, we don't even have to make it reality or reach. Hold on, y'all. I got to do something. Look like my keyboard came unplugged. Did my camera come unplugged too? Oh, Lordy Jesus. A keyboard, y'all. Hold on 1 second. Give me 2 seconds.
Yo, what's up?
Not much. About to throw them in the fire real quick because they got a little debate in the chat, man. I'm going to ask Kyle too. Kyle.
Yo, what's up?
So, there was a comment made in the chat that Jam Miller is better than Justice Haynes.
Is better?
Yes. I want your take. Raw, uncut.
I'm gonna say no. But it's hard because those two type of players are different. They're different running backs. So I think, the back that is a featured back that college football fans would be drooling over if they got him just because of his ability to be an elusive type running back that sees the field, that has a great quick first step, kind of is a blend of like almost, I don't know, Josh Jacobs, Jahmyr Gibbs into one, maybe even like a little touch of Emmitt Smith is Justice Haynes. I think that Jam Miller is super underrated as well. I think he's a big, powerful back that's certainly capable and probably be a day one starter anyone else in college football. So I think that Justice Haynes is better overall. Like if you're like rating, like this is how I like to, for me, this is how I like to look at like running backs. I do like the rating system for like NCAA football. I would say like Justice Haynes coming back for his second year is probably like a 94 overall, and Jam Miller is like a 91.
Yeah. I can rock with that.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I see it. So it's like, is he better? Yeah, a couple points better, and depending on and running backs get hot. Right. And the thing about running backs is you have to keep them fed and you have to keep them in rhythm. And I think that those two guys being able to keep themselves fresh is only going to be better for the entire offense. Right. So that's kind of how I look at it. I don't think that like I'm not like pushing like one guy over another. I think that you feed both of those guys because the more reps that each of them gets, like the fresher they're going to be. They're going to be tough to stop. I mean, I think that that's one of the top tandems in college football coming back, along with Jahad Campbell and Deontay Lawson and Jaden Roberts and Tyler Booker. Like when you talk top tandems, those are those guys.
Yeah, and this is the point I was making. So I'm gonna coincide with you. I said the same thing. I already said.
Yep.
My thing is Justice is the back that can do it all and does it all great.
Yeah.
Catch out the backfield.
Yep.
Put his foot in the ground. Get it north and south. He can shake you.
Yep.
He gonna run you over, stiff arm you, jump over you.
Yep.
He might moss you. He gonna stand you up in the. You come on a blitz. You better be ready because he's putting his hat on you.
Yeah.
Justice does it all great. Like, and he hasn't even touched the field and been the premier back yet. And then you look at Jam and you see what he was able to do once he got on the field because of his ability out the backfield, create separation. He's a little bit quicker, but that's all. Like he doesn't do everything great. He has his specialties, right? And you use that to your advantage. That's why you have a back like him to spell Justice Haynes. They love that the roles that they play for each other. Talking to them in the post-practice interviews the other day, those two are excited about being able to touch the field together.
And the thing is if you have a teammate like that, you're excited to have that teammate because
it ain't all on you.
Exactly. And you have a lot more confidence because you're like, look, I'm going to like during the season, it's a gauntlet. and you're going to feed off each other, right? Like that's why you always see like, and a lot of people who see like that want to see like this guy or the other really haven't played on like team sports, probably because when you're like a true teammate and when you're on a team, man, like it's a grind, especially like this long type of a season. You want your guys to be able to eat. It'd be sometimes, you know, who knows? I might be a little bit banged up, or it might be a situation to where, like, look, it makes a little bit more sense in third and short. Maybe, look, like we haven't even talked about like Daniel Hill and Richard Young, or, you know, Kevin Riley, those type of guys. I don't know how many opportunities all these guys are going to get. Like, and I'm talking about Richard Young, Daniel Hill, and Kevin Riley. But, you know, I think all those guys are capable. And you look to even you know, down the road, who Alabama's recruiting at the running back position with Turbo. He's another
Turbo, yep.
So I think like you have your wide receivers when you recruit them, and you kind of like Nick Saban said, he always recruited them like a basketball team, right? You have your taller guys, they're like your power forwards, you have your point guards, which is like your slot. And I think with running backs, it's not necessarily that big of a difference, but you want, you know, you need a power back. You need a back who's like 230, 240. Okay, Daniel Hill. You need a running back who can kind of do it all. You know, is a little bit faster. That's Justice Haynes. You need a running back who's big and powerful, but also is fast, and that's Jam Miller, who can catch the football. So Alabama has that backfield. If we were to really go through every single attribute of that running back room, those guys have it. And then add on the fact that you have Robert Gillespie, who has sent guys to the NFL and is about to send one more with Jace. So look, Roydell Williams, I can't wait to see what he does for Florida State.
Me too.
I'm a Florida State fan. I'm excited about the guys that I got from Alabama, right? Earl Jr., I think he was probably going to do his thing this year. You look to was it Malik Benson? I felt Malik Benson, he kind of underperformed here. Unfortunately, he had kind of a case of the drops.
Yeah. You know, of the 14 recorded drops, he had 7 of them this year.
Like it didn't work out for him here. Who knows? Yeah. But Roydell Williams was good. He was a really good running back. And if he's here this year, he contributes. He was a really good. I love his personality out of Hueytown. That he's built by Bama, and I think that he's going to have a really good season for Florida State, and I think they'll be happy for him. But I think he would be surpassed this year by Jam Miller and Justice Haynes. So it's going to work. It's going to work out well for him. In a little bit, I'm going to play some footage. You know, Coach Sabin is with Ted Cruz right now, and Greg Byrne on Capitol Hill. I'm going to play a quick bite of what we just uploaded to our YouTube channel. This is Coach Sabin when talking to Ted Cruz today. And we got T on board too. T, say what's up.
Good morning, or I guess it is still morning. Good morning, Undefeated, and hello, Smook.
What's up, sister?
I'm all confused.
It's the morning time, always on spring break. All right, but here's Coach Sabin and Ted Cruz this morning on Capitol Hill.
On both sides of the aisle, and so I think that augurs well for us to be able to come together and actually pass legislation to address the challenges here. Why don't I start off with just posing a general question? Everyone around this table are experts in different aspects of college athletics. What do you see right now as the biggest challenges with the current Wild West? Many have said that the status quo threatens the long-term or even medium and short-term viability of college athletics. Is that true? If so, why? What are the challenges that you're facing right now? And I'll open that up to anyone who feels inspired.
I'd like to ask, you have two people, I think, on the front lines, Mr. Byrne and my dear friend Nick Saban. But what has done, we call it student athletes. What has it done to the student part of the athlete? What's the chances of them graduating? What's the chance of them transferring their credits as they look at the portals and jump? What's the purpose of collectives that basically are out there and not in contact with it, not coordinating with the schools? All the things that we think, I truly believe it's going to destroy the student athlete as we have known it. But on the other hand, I think there could be a balance. So I'd love to hear from Coach and from Mr. Byrne, basically on the front lines. You've gone through it. And so how do y'all look at it? Nick, what do you think, buddy?
We know, but basically, I always did what I did as a coach.
Turn your microphone, brother.
People be more successful in life. So you're trying to develop value-based system just like a value-based business that would create opportunities for young people to be more successful. So this started with personal development. It started with academic support to make sure guys graduated and prepared themselves for when they couldn't play football. And also the whole concept of branding and making sure you had an image out there that was going to be something that would be enhance your chances of being successful and create opportunities for your future, and see if you could develop a career as a football player. Now, what we've done between freedom to transfer and creating a free agency system where guys can transfer whenever they want to transfer, and the whole idea that we've created a pay-for-play sort of model in college athletics have created some issues in being able to actually have a program and a system that would enhance those very values that I just talked about. And how does this even impact other sports relative to Title IX, relative to non-revenue sports? And how do we continue to create some kind of a model moving forward where we do improve the quality of life of the student athlete, but create some kind of a balance in terms of competitive balance, which all venues have some guidelines and rules that create some kind of competitive balance, which right now we don't have in college athletics. It's whoever wants to pay the most money, raise the most money, buy the most players is going to have the best opportunity to win. I don't think that's the spirit of college athletics. I don't think it's ever been the spirit of what we want college athletics to be. So that's my major concern, the combination of pay for play, free agency, and how that impacts development. And I can attest that I've had 2 NFL coaches tell me, and this is a football deal because they're concerned about the football part, that the players come to them less developed, with more entitlements and less resiliency to overcome adversity. And these are concerns that they have even in their football development. Well, if that's true in their football development, is that true in other parts of their development, whether it's academics or personal development? And each time you transfer, you minimize your chances of graduating by probably about 20%. Now we have guys transferring 2 or 3 times. So some of the goals and objectives of what we've worked so hard for the last 20 years to improve graduation rate, to improve health care for players, to have mental health care for players, all the things that we work so hard to improve on, we're going to start seeing slide in the wrong direction because we've created an environment that really does not promote personal development or that is going to create success for their future.
You know, one question I have to ask. You just retired from a amazingly and historically significant coaching career. How much did the current chaos and state of the law contribute to your decision to retire now?
Well, all the things that I believed in for all these years, 50 years of coaching, no longer exist in college athletics. So it's always was about developing players. It was always about helping people be more successful in life. My wife even said to me, we'd have all the recruits over on Sunday with their parents for breakfast, and she would always meet with the mothers and talk about how she was going to help and impact their sons and how they would be well taken care of. And she came to me, you know, like right before I retired and said, why are we doing this? And I said, what do you mean? She said, all they care about is how much you're going to pay them. They don't care about how you're going to develop them, which is all what we've always done. So why are we doing this? So, you know, to me, that was sort of a red alert that we really are creating a circumstance here that is not beneficial to the development of young people, which is why I always did what I did. My dad did it. I did it. And that's the reason that I always like college athletics more than the NFL is because you had the opportunity to develop young people. So, and I want their quality of life to be good. I think, as I said before, name, image, and likeness is a great opportunity for them to create a brand for themselves. I'm not against that at all. But to come up with some kind of a system that still can help the development of young people, I think is paramount to the future of college athletics.
That's Coach Sabin talking about his thoughts on NIL here with T. Say what's up, T.
Hello.
Smoke,
Hello, everyone.
Smoke, what's up, man?
What's good? What's good?
We'll go ahead and put Coach Sabin on the side, and I want to kind of do a reaction video to this because I think it's worth discussing and getting some context on this. I want to get everybody's feedback, and if you're inside and you guys have been watching, the comment box, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's can we get Coach Sabin positioned on the right? Yeah, perfect. Okay, and how
That's a perfect spot too.
this is perfect. So what I want to do is kind of play a couple clips of Coach Sabin and get some dialogue, and if you can, from you as well, T, and from you, Smook, as well. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'll open up the video, and then we want to get some feedback inside the comment box as well. So coming to you from Rosemary in Spring Break. So here we go in 3, 2, 1. Fam, what's going on? Kyle Henderson, along with T, our producer, and much more, and along with Smook, talking about Coach Sabin and his comments today on NIL in the space of college football right now. Coach Smook, I thought he had some very impactful comments. I love getting to hear from his perspective in terms of hearing from Miss Terry Sabin, and when the prospects are at the house and they're kind of hanging out, and she's like, all they want to hear about is how much they're going to be paid. The world of college football is clearly not what it was in the past. Your thoughts, Coach?
We've been saying this for months now, Kyle, maybe more than a few months. I know we've just been interacting here on the network for months now, but before it even came out, Coach Sabin was very adamant on just let's not keep the players from being able to build off of their name, image, and likeness, but let's regulate it so that we don't mess up the game of college football and what it stands for. And he alluded to it with the fact that he is no longer able to develop young men into being better people for society, whether they go and play at the next level or they get out into the community, because their focus is how much money they're going to make.
Let's play that comment real quick, and then we'll get your thoughts, T, as well. This is Coach Sabin, and I'm sure you guys have seen the video already, but I'll try to get it to where Coach Sabin is talking about his thoughts with Miss Terry. Let me see if I can rewind it a little bit to hear, just kind of go back and forth with Coach Sabin's comments today up on Capitol Hill, speaking with Ted Cruz.
Retired from a amazingly and historically significant coaching career. How much did the current chaos and state of the law contribute to your decision to retire now?
Well, all the things that I believed in for all these years, 50 years of coaching, no longer exist in college athletics. So it's always was about developing players. It was always about helping people be more successful in life. My wife even said to me, we'd have all the recruits over on Sunday with their parents for breakfast, and she would always meet with the mothers and talk about how she was going to help and impact their sons and how they would be well taken care of. And she came to me, like right before I retired, and said, why are we doing this? And I said, what do you mean? She said, all they care about is how much you're going to pay them. They don't care about how you're going to develop them, which is all what we've always done. So why are we doing this? So, to me, that was sort of a red alert that we really are creating a circumstance here that is not beneficial to the development of young people, which is why I always did what I did.
All right, let's pause right there. T, your thoughts on some of Coach Sabin's comments today up on Capitol Hill?
Yeah, I mean, that's just a really powerful statement, saying everything he thought he knew about football for the past 50 years, everything he believed in, it doesn't exist anymore. That was a really big one for me. And it's all about the money now, he thinks. It's nothing about how you can develop the players.
I think in this next comment as well coming up is a lot about entitlement. And we talk about the entitlement and how that has impacted college football. So, for example, Coach Sabin's about to give another comment here on Capitol Hill that I thought was really monumental, and said that he's starting to even see it from coaches that he speaks to in the NFL, that players have so much entitlement, and that's hurting their overall development. So we continue with Coach Sabin on Capitol Hill.
My dad did it. I did it. And that's the reason that I always like college athletics more than the NFL, is because you had the opportunity to develop young people. So, and I want their quality of life to be good. I think, as I said before, name, image, and likeness is a great opportunity for them to create a brand for themselves. I'm not against that at all. but to come up with some kind of a system that still can help the development of young people, I think is paramount to the future of college athletics.
All right, so that was Coach Sabin. I'm trying to get to where he was talking about kind of the development. Let me see if I can kind of pan through this video.
Business that would create opportunities for young people to be more successful. So this started with personal development. It started with academic support to make sure guys graduated and prepared themselves for when they couldn't play football. And also the whole concept of branding and making sure you had an image out there that was going to be something that would be enhance your chances of being successful and create opportunities for your future, and see if you can develop a career as a football player. Now, what we've done between freedom to transfer and creating a free agency system where guys can transfer whenever they want to transfer, and the whole idea that we've created a pay-for-play sort of model in college athletics have created some issues in being able to actually have a program and a system that would enhance those very values that I just talked about. And how does this even impact other sports relative to Title IX, relative to non-revenue sports? And how do we continue to create some kind of a model moving forward where we do improve the quality of life of the student athlete, but create some kind of a balance in terms of competitive balance, which all venues have some guidelines and rules that create some kind of competitive balance, which right now we don't have in college athletics. It's whoever wants to pay the most money, raise the most money, buy the most players is going to have the best opportunity to win. I don't think that's the spirit of college athletics. I don't think it's ever been the spirit of what we want college athletics to be. So that's my major concern.
Yeah, I think, this is great. I mean, I'm glad that Sabin is speaking about this particular topic, because we strongly feel that the world of college football is off the rails. I mean, you can see it. I mean, someone inside the comment box is saying that NIL is even coming to high schools, right? And some of the high school players, getting paid, and some of them like opting out of their, last, season to be able to go to college football, or whatever. I mean, the world is off the hills. Do you guys think, Smook, I'll start with you. Do you think that Coach Sabin left college football, like coaching at a place where, he could have coached for many more years, to basically try to save college football?
That's been my narrative. That's been my narrative. Like, there was no other reason why. After the whole shock of him retiring, that was one of the first things we picked up here at Bama Football on YouTube. Like, there's a reason why just look at the type of moves he's made. Look at the type of coach that he have replace him, a coach that focuses on relationships, and look at how relationship building is impacting Alabama's recruiting, even with NIL surrounding it. There are players right now who are out of the state of Georgia where it's legal for you to, give monetary gifts to high school players from your university, right? It's legal right now in the state of Georgia. They can bring home a check for $10,000. Coach Sabin saying that should be regulated. That should not be in the game of college football right now. If it involves college football, no university should be able to outsource or indirectly allow somebody that supports the university to come into the house of a 17, 16-year-old kid and throw money in their parents' face. I mean, one, it may look good from their end, and the kid might be thinking, but that also brings negative attention to you, because if you in the hood and they know Coach Kalen DeBoer just came by and dropped off a $20,000 check, what you think gonna happen to your house later that night? Your door ain't opposed from being kicked in, because at the end of the day, whoever doing it, they don't have a mindset to protect anybody anyway. So I can see it from that level, and I really do believe he's more concerned about the development and the continuing development of these young men. His passion is developing young men. That's why he left the NFL. If he wanted to deal with free agency and competing in free agency, he would have stayed in the NFL. But he came to the college level because he saw that's where he could impact, not just for football, but for a generation of men. And he's been doing it, like he said, 50 plus years he's been coaching. At the University of Alabama, 17 years, he impacted young men. And that's where his goal is. So I can get behind that.
Yeah, here with Taylor, Smook, myself, Kyle Henderson, Alabama football on YouTube. Kind of a reaction to Coach Sabin up on Capitol Hill talking about the parameters with NIL and how it has impacted college football. I'm curious. I mean, when you look at college football right now, today, I mean, what do you think is going to happen? And Taylor, I'm going to ask you this. You know, from Coach Sabin saying this particular thing, every time you transfer in the transfer portal, and this kind of ties to NIL as well, like your graduation, the chance of you graduating significantly drops each time you hit the portal.
Right. So, and I think that, that compounds onto what he's saying. Like, he really does care about the well-being of these kids that he's coaching, and he doesn't think that this is a good thing for them because
I think if we go to yeah.
That's
So, and then another thing, kind of going off of what Smook was saying and Tim in the comments, imagine being 18 years old and getting a couple $1 million, right? Like, they can't, fathom what a good coach can do for you in that amount of time. Like, going into the NFL, that would, they can't see that far ahead.
And I think too, is like, you get who is behind the athletes as well. Cause a lot of the times, over the last, like I used to cover high school sports, right? High school football specifically. And there's always kind of like these people around these athletes who like handlers, right? And they want kind of a cut of, this particular, money that the players are getting, whatever it is. I'm not against players getting paid. It doesn't sound like Coach Sabin is either.
Yeah.
It sounds like there just need to be some sort of competitive balance and some parameters put on everything. Cause right now, it's the wild, wild west. And you look at like the tampering that is going on, even with Jalen Milroe, he didn't even enter the transfer portal. And he said that people were hitting him up to enter the transfer portal. You look at what happened to like Caden Proctor, who wasn't even doing that well here at Alabama, and people were sliding into his DMs to get him to go to Iowa, where he eventually did. And then Iowa basically said, hey, we are wrong for doing that. And that was it. Like, there was no ramifications that happen. You look at what's happening in Tennessee, the prospect, being offered bags of money before he even got there. And now Tennessee is like open market. You look at the transfer portal windows. There's another window that's about to happen here on April 15th. This is all the like dumb rules around college football as well. Like, in this next transfer portal, guess what? Alabama can't even go inside the SEC.
Yeah.
Like, it's completely, it's chaos right now. Smook, any final thoughts on, Coach Sabin up on Capitol Hill, or kind of the state of college football with NIL transfer portal?
It's almost sickening, and I'm part of a generation that, our recruiting wasn't social media driven, right? So I feel like I missed out because of the things that weren't afforded to me. And now you're saying you have college coaches who have came up in that era. It's a lot of position coaches between the ages of 30 and 45 right now that understand, what we went through as trying to be collegiate athletes coming up. Why aren't we getting on this narrative and supporting what Coach Sabin is trying to push? Let's get these guys, let's let them build their image, but let's make them earn it. Just like they had to earn scholarships, let's make them earn it. A YouTube clip shouldn't, or Instagram clip shouldn't determine if a dude is worth $150,000. Let's evaluate this young man. Let's teach him what the process of evaluating. And then if we're going to structure this NIL for them to maximize it, meaning let's set up things in place at these universities to educate. There's people like Courtney Morgan that could put together some type of collective or something to teach other universities. This is the system we need to set in place. And you got to regulate this thing, man. Yes, you could have a star guy that's worth $550K, but does a 17 or 18-year-old kid really need $550,000 right now? How do you put that aside to push it towards his education? How do you put that aside to put, if he has a crazy season injury or a career-ending injury, his first year on campus, right? And God forbid if something was to happen to a player like Isaiah Bonds at Texas this year. Like, what are you teaching him by saying it's a business decision? Well, business decision is if you show up and don't perform, or you show up and you get injured, your career is over. Now this is all you have left to hold on to. This $150,000 that we gave you to come to our school for not even for a full year. You don't benefit from it on the long run. Like, it's just setting it up for failure. And it was something else that you said, Kyle, about the portal, the transfer portal. Yep. Why are we promoting, hey, if it's not working, instead of work through it like in the past where guys have developed and not been able to be on the field, but they go to the league because they had to sit through all of that. They go to combines, they go off the charts with combine workouts, they get in the league, and they're the third and fourth contract guys, not the first round guy that came in. You know, why are we not promoting it? It creates better value at the next level. There's always steps to each industry. Like you start at the low levels, you work your way, and you continue to build. Why are we taking that away from the biggest sport in the United States of America? Why are we allowing it? So I'm with Coach Sabin 110%. Like, there's no reason to not allow these players to get paid, but there is reason to regulate this so that we can continue to have that quality and that value of college football. I'm all for it. I'm not hating on nobody's pockets or nothing. I want these players to get paid, but there has to be some relegation. There has to be some parameters set in place for us to continue to enjoy this, not just as fans, but as people who are a part of the game, as coaches. You see, you got Coach Sabin admitting that this played a role. Not that he was old, not that he was tired, but his wife was able to understand, like, see these things becoming alarming.
And I mean, she certainly said that. And then, like, and I always go back to this, the Knicks Kids Foundation message. Go look it up. We can bring it up on here. She said, though the game of college football has changed, the process has not. So what she was saying is like the process of developing players. How about this, T? And I know you saw this. Is like it was saying that, and this is kind of my final take on this, is that Coach Sabin was like, you can't buy a team. Like Texas A&M tried that.
Yeah.
The coach who did that, Jimbo Fisher, he doesn't even have a job anymore. Ohio State, look at all the guys that they've went all in on the transfer portal. Just because they have the money doesn't mean that you can build a dream team.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you still need the talent behind it, like in the coaching position, right? And the ability to build these men, right? To make them, to push them. And
to have that like cohesiveness as well is like kind of like the one and done and the players going all over it. It doesn't, like, you need to be able to like understand, I'm a freshman, just like Smook was saying, I'm a freshman here. I have to work for what is mine. Right. And I think the entitlement, right, has certainly stopped that because you show up and you're like, well, I'm already paid.
And they don't get a chance to develop, right? Like they just go in right out of high school, probably get hurt, right? And then, you know, that's it. They don't get to develop into their full potential. Yeah. So,
yeah, Smook. So good stuff, man. I mean, look, this is huge. So look, I'm gonna end the video right here, but not our stream, but just the video. So hit the thumbs up on these videos. We appreciate you guys. This is a reaction to Coach Sabin up on Capitol Hill, and we continue with our live stream right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Yeah. So I mean, it's huge.
I hadn't been able to hear the statements because I was live, of course, but listening to that, man, it just coincides with what the powers to be are trying to say. Even they're the ones scared. Like, they're trying to figure out, wait, this might not be what we thought it was going to be. Because now look at what's happening at Alabama in recruiting. They're not even throwing the bag. They're building relationships. And now they have the means to supplement that with the NIL, because they have the relationships and NIL. So now what Coach Sabin was saying, it won't be fair for everybody. He didn't say it wouldn't be fair for Alabama. He said it was everybody else. It wouldn't be fair. It would create a competitive disadvantage for those who didn't have the means. And that's just what it is, man.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. And Caleb is asking what Greg Byrne said. What I'll do is I will package Greg Byrne as well. We'll record that and upload that as well, because he makes some really good points. And I mean, he's seen it. I mean, he's here at Alabama. He's seen what's happened with. That would be a really great perspective too, because he's had to be able to navigate replacing Coach Sabin, getting Coach Oates, and you see it trickle down. Like basketball, I mean, that's another area that you're always seeing the transfer portal, and the pay for play is all over the board. So really good stuff. Yeah. So Jared, we will get that up. We're gonna be around with you guys probably for I don't know, 15, 20 minutes more. T and I just kind of get more back into spring break. This was a little bit more college football newsworthy, but it's huge, man. I mean, because anytime Coach Sabin speaks, and see, what I want you guys to understand is like that I think he left college football, honestly, to do things like this. I'm not saying get political, but I'm saying like shake college football and be like, look, this is wrong. This is not the direction that we should be going college football. So I think he left Alabama to like really try to fix college football.
Yeah, to spread this message for sure.
Yeah.
I would say this too. You could tell like this last 2 years, he's really been handcuffed on his perspectives out of respect, and he was able to navigate it and put enough out there for this narrative right here, for what we're seeing develop and happen today. We knew that it was coming because of the narrative he's been pushing for the past 2 years. You remember the controversy with him calling out A&M, him calling out Coach Prime. Like, those were his attempts at saying, hey, this is not looking good. It's not feeling right. I'm not going to say that right now, but no, you're going to lose guys like me. Because think about how much money Nick Saban brought in for the college football industry. Not just Alabama, but for college football industry. He's over in China, in Paris, on vacation, and people know Nick Saban. They're not wearing Alabama gear. They know Nick Saban. And then they say, oh, Roll Tide. You know, over in France? Come on, man. Like, it's this man, he understands his pool, and he's not using it for self-gain. He loves the game of college football because young men are coming through college football, and that's what his passion is, developing these young men. And if we want a better society, where do we start? You start with the men, the guys, the ones who are up front. Everywhere you see, and that's just the nature of what we live in, the society we live in. And when Miss Terry, who's supporting her husband, who's been there in the trenches from the start to the finish, when she noticed it and she was able to initiate that conversation, I think it gave him more reassurance that it was his time to really step out and start putting some real grounding on this thing. And let's get some control on it. Let's get some control.
Yep, 100%. Great segment, Smook. We appreciate you, man. Hell of a job this morning on the show. We had Ty to lead off, and then we had Smook. Our schedule's kind of rotational this week because we are on spring break. Everyone's, on spring break. And what's the schedule looking like tonight, T?
So tonight we just have Jarek and Sean going on at 7.
So we have Coach Sean and Coach Jarek tonight. Be interesting to get their comments. Coach Smook is off tonight. We'll be back tomorrow on Wednesday. And then kind of as news happens, of course, we pop on. For example, like the recruiting that just happens, that's something we'll kind of hit on over the next 10 minutes. And, as news happens, think Bama football on YouTube. But Smook, awesome job, man. Love having you here. And great job as always on your segments, man.
Roll Tide, man. Appreciate y'all.
All right.
Thanks, Smook.
Yep.
Y'all take it easy. All right, T.
All right. See you, Coach.
All right, undefeated.
Can we add some music? It feels kind of
it's a little quiet in here. Huh?
Yeah, it's kind of that's fine.
Is that better?
It's kind of spring. I felt like that video right there kind of got like a little bit serious.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't feel really like spring breaky.
Yeah, it was. I
was kind of like tense. Yeah. Anyways, so long story short, we were covering Coach Sabin up on Capitol Hill. Coach Smook had his segment. Before that was Ty Hayes from Around the Table Sports. All the coverage right here on Bama Football on YouTube. She is Taylor Anderson. I'm Kyle Henderson. Both of Bama Football on YouTube. We're coming to you from Rosemary down here in Florida. It's been great. So we want to talk about what you want to talk about inside the comment box as well. So if you have a question or whatever, just you can participate in the chat. I'll ask you guys some questions as well. And it was great to hear. What's up, Kaden? Kaden, we got the whole fam here too for spring break. It's always great to hear Coach Sabin speak. And as we were talking about earlier, I mean, you see Coach Sabin taking on this new role as kind of like the college football commissioner, who I always thought he was. But on the flip side here, back in Tuscaloosa, you have Coach Kalen DeBoer, who has Alabama 1,000,000% rolling. I mean, there's so much positivity kind of with the new energy.
Yeah. I mean, and I really do kind of agree with you there that Sabin is taking on that role, right? Like that sort of seems like where the direction he's headed.
And I've been saying that for a long time. I felt honestly that Coach Sabin would leave and go try to save college football. I've been saying that for a long time. And I've always said that he was kind of the college football commissioner already.
Yeah,
I mean, think about
before retiring, you said that.
1,000,000%. How about this? And okay, cool. Yep, you guys have these things.
Oh, that's fine.
So think about this too. ESPN, and look, everybody has kind of gone to there's so much news about Alabama football, right? You guys see it on Instagram. You guys see it on YouTube. You guys see it on Twitter. I'd be curious, the volume, Alabama football drives everything, even your national guys who have like national YouTube channels, they're heavy Alabama
Oh
because
yeah.
they know Alabama drives the most foot traffic. Think about this. The A-Day game is right on ESPN or any other, program. I haven't seen any other programs that are going to be like Alabama still gets the red carpet. And now with Coach Sabin having a job at ESPN, like Alabama is just going to continue to be in the forefront of college football. No one cares, honestly. Like, and it's crazy. As much success as Kirby Smart has had, past guys like Dabo Sweeney or I don't know other marquee college guys. No
one's saying their names. Like
nobody
they are
talks about
Sabin
anybody
still,
about
or
Alabama.
even Kalen DeBoer now. Like because it's all
Kalen DeBoer
Alabama.
is honestly shot. Like his approval rating. Chat. Let me ask you, undefeated. Let's do our ranking schedule, right? From 10 being the highest to 0 being the lowest. What is Coach Kalen DeBoer's approval rating right now? And I asked this like a month ago, and it was like an 8 or a 9.
Yeah, let's do a poll.
Yeah, what is his approval rating? I'm gonna say 10. I think it's 10.
Wow. Okay.
Let's see.
I bet
what's up,
it's really high.
Hell with Auburn. Adam, what's going on? 98. See?
All right.
Oh.
Hang on. Let me get this up.
So yesterday, and we appreciate you guys being fan funders as well. So if you can go up to the top of the YouTube channel, and then for as low as $2.99, you can support the YouTube channel. We appreciate you guys so much supporting us right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Okay, yeah. See, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Like, yeah. I mean, it's all
we
high.
can only do 4 options.
And if you guys have been down here too, we'd love to hear recommendations for you guys, like a good bar to hit up, a good restaurant,
yeah, please.
whatever you guys have inside the comment box. So we always appreciate you guys. We are down here and see, like, so I went golfing. So I haven't been able to. I love golfing just as much as the next guy, whatever. But I have. How many times have I played this year?
This year, probably however many times you played this week, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I played. So I played in a charity tournament in January, believe it or not, before Coach Sabin at Old Colony. Yeah. And then I played twice here. One par 3 hole, like a par 3 course. And then yesterday I went to Sandestin and played.
Yeah.
During that particular time, each of those times this week, Alabama has reeled in a commitment. So you had Zamir Smith when we were at the par 3. Yeah. And then yesterday you had Derek Smith. Have you guys seen Derek Smith's highlights? This guy's out of Selma, Alabama. 6'1", 190, monster. Okay, so I'm asking you guys about Coach Kalen DeBoer's approval rating because he's got things popping, recruiting. And there's 2 things I always talk about this. Okay, things that make people happy: recruiting and winning, and defense. But right now, like he's recruiting, you continue to see so much positivity with Coach Kalen DeBoer.
Oh yeah, I mean. He's doing an amazing job, and it's really impressive. Like him coming in here, first time coach is in the SEC, right? Like he doesn't have ties here, so it's impressive that he's getting all these kids. Yeah,
it really is, and I think what was amazing is when he first took over because he was from Washington. People were like, I think I even questioned it too. I was like, well, it's going to be interesting to see how he continues to build relationships.
Yeah, we all did.
Like here we all did in the Southeast. Well, guess what?
Doesn't seem to have a problem.
Gets Ryan Williams to sign from Saraland from LA, right? It's Antonio Coleman, and a lot of this has been, haymakers to Hugh Freeze and Auburn.
Oh yeah,
think about it. Ryan Williams,
he's sticking it to him for sure.
Yeah, Ryan Williams, Antonio Coleman, who's from Saraland, and then I think someone said yesterday in the comment box. You guys have to remind me. Was Derek Smith? So this crystal ball thing is like a crystal ball is like these recruiting guys they have a crystal ball in 24/7, and like
they predict they're going somewhere.
Yes, and On3 has the RPM, which is the recruiting predictor machine.
No way, wait, are you? That's a serious thing.
Yeah.
The RPM.
Yeah,
okay.
and like these guys like that are in the know, like make these projections, and they're good. Right. They're like they're solid.
Can we start one?
No. Like there's no need to because like
they got it.
And it's good. There's like guys who are like in the know recruiting where these 16-year-olds they're going or whatever. They put in this information, right? Like it's hard enough to track like where my 15-year-old is going.
Right.
I can't even imagine like a reporter calling my kid who is like 40 or 50 years old. Hey, where are you going in April? I don't know.
That's such a good point. Like, we don't even know where Caden's going half the time. Like, you know what I mean? Imagine that being your job, keeping up with like 50 16-year-olds.
Oh, they want a pinwheel. We could do a giveaway. I wonder what type of giveaway could we do?
I don't know.
Like,
looking around.
No. We got to get something. So we got to, if we find like an Alabama beach theme, something.
Yeah, we'll be on the lookout. Adam thinks the pinwheel is rigged, though. Adam, if you say the pinwheel is legit, then we will absolutely do one.
You know what? So there was a bar that we went to a couple days ago, which hopefully we can go again. A trip to the resort of Maryland.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'd like that too.
Damn, that's a good one. Okay, so where was the bar that we went to? It wasn't too far from. It was on the beach, so you had to go.
Shunk Deli?
No. You had to go to the beach, and then you had to walk on the beach.
Krabby Steve's.
Krabby Steve's.
Yeah.
Has anyone been to Krabby Steve's
there.
inside the Combox? Yeah.
We were honestly just trying to get up off the beach, and we just walked into this bar. It was crazy.
Yeah, and they had some pretty good food as well.
We had a grouper, right?
Yeah, and then yesterday I had just kind of like a pop-up video. I just wanted to talk about A-Day tickets. That's a good one as well. And then I kind of had a pop-up video just to kind of like celebrate the excitement about Coach Kalen DeBoer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's great because this guy comes in taking over for Coach Sabin. And, he's doing a really good job recruiting. I look at where Alabama was kind of on the recruiting spectrum. And I don't really follow. I mean, look, recruiting is certainly the lifeblood. But to me, the transfer portal is way more exciting. So, like on April 15th, I want to see who's going in, who's coming in, because I think those guys are more likely to be actual playing here in September. Whereas 2025, you got all the way up until December to flip flop, decommit, recommit, pay me more money. And that's the other thing too, is Kevin Steele, kind of getting back to this whole transfer portal deal. He was saying Kevin Steele, imagine him being 67 and going into a 16-year-old's house and being like, hey, we're really excited to see what you have. Come in, we want you to come here. He's like, okay, coach, what are you offering me? Okay, I've been told by Coach Sabin, I can offer you $125,000. Mm-hmm. They're like, Coach, we have offers of $800,000. And Kevin Steele's 67. I don't know. I can develop you to go to the NFL where you get a multi-million-dollar contract. No. I want some cash now.
I would like money.
Yeah, give it to me. Right? So who knows what will happen with college football, and hopefully it gets on base at some point. But I think that overall, if there's anybody that can save college football, it certainly could be Coach Sabin. And I think there's going to be the next probably 5 years of college football is going to be the most interesting thing to watch.
But okay, so what kind of parameters could you put in place here that would be helpful?
I mean, I think from the jump you could be able to set. And so I am not against salary caps, for players. If a player is valued at whatever, then pay him whatever.
Right.
So I think in terms of what type of parameters could be set in, and I think figuring out, first of all, these transfer portal windows, right? And how many guys can go in and go out and try to figure it out from that standpoint. Mm-hmm. And then figure out is it from the collectives where the money should come from, or is it from the university?
So correct me if I'm wrong here, but wasn't there a cap on how many times you could transfer before?
I think if you transferred, you had to sit out.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Right.
Sorry.
So for example, let's talk about, I know you guys don't want to talk about him, but Tyler Buckner, for example, he transferred to Notre Dame to play lacrosse because he couldn't transfer there to play football.
Right.
But then a judge basically overruled that and was you can transfer basically as many times as you want to without having to sit out.
Right.
So what's up, Adam? I appreciate the super chat as well.
Thank you,
The
Adam.
Undefeated chat should be at Bryant Denny Stadium at 8 for a group photo.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
That'd be what's up. Yeah. I think as we get closer, we'll maybe get together and try to figure out a time to maybe get together for the Undefeated or something like that, right?
And look at what Todd's saying here. As a freshman, you can make this much, and a sophomore, you can make more.
Kinda a tier.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Or how about incentivize it? Yeah. Be hey, look, you're gonna get your contract could be up to $1 million, but this is what you have to do. You have to catch for 1,000 yards.
Oh,
okay?
I like that.
And guess what? For every touchdown you score, you get $25,000. Okay. For every practice that you attend, you get $1,000. For every time that you are on the honor roll, you make this. If you graduate, you get a $100,000 bonus for graduating.
Yeah.
And you get a $200,000 bonus for getting your master's degree. And guess what? If you make the All-American team, you get $200,000 and
A Rhodes Scholar.
yeah, exactly. It's like different tiers. And
I like that.
if you finish out, so you're like incentivizing all of these
Yeah,
items,
like give them actual goals to
right? Give
Yeah.
them goals. Be like, hey, you know what? I get it. You guys are offering me like administrative, but Alabama has this tier program to where I can actually make 2.5 if I stay here, this, and then you graduate. You kind of tie it into all of that.
Yeah.
Right?
I like it.
You imagine you come in as a freshman and you earn it. You're like, okay, if you play in over 100 snaps this year, we can promise you that. We'll get you on the field. Guess what you get? You get $50,000.
And it's testable, right? Like you can prove it
Yes.
with stats. Like
Yeah.
you can see that this kid is like meeting those milestones.
Yeah.
So,
And I honestly think that would be great. Be like, look, and then you turn college football not only your NIL money, but your incentivized deal is worth $3.5 million. But just like in anything in the job world, hey, if you've ever worked commission or if you ever worked any type of job, guess what? The higher you perform and the more meetings you make and the more deals you sell and the larger you grow your business, guess what happens? You get paid more money.
Yeah.
Welcome to the real world, right? I don't know if there's many jobs where you just walk in and they're just like, hey,
yeah,
here's $5 million. Thank you for being here.
you're supposed to be good, right? Like we
Yeah.
heard you were good.
We heard you were
That's-
good.
yeah.
I don't know. You graduated. You're here. Like, here's your money. And
This is not tested or
No, no,
proven in
yeah,
any way,
no,
but
incentivize
we
it,
hear you're
right?
good on a totally different playing field, like out of high school, right? So,
Yeah. And I think that would be great.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a great
finish
idea.
out, and then the more that you add on to the university, to yourself, the more you move up on this tier scale.
yes, and like Jared's saying, like the academic incentive on top of that, like we want them to be not just football players,
Yeah.
but college graduates.
Do you
as well.
imagine, like, okay, this is your incentivized deal as well, is not only you do this, but if you get your master's degree here, just look at this as a freshman. You're here, you graduate, this is your 100,000. But if you graduate from here with a master's degree and you have stayed here and you completed all these courses and all this stuff,
Mhm.
guess what your bonus is for your master's? We're going to give you $350,000
Yeah,
and a new Lamborghini.
there'd be a lot of very educated football players around. I'm pretty sure,
I don't know, like make it something that you're like, man, I got to stay here. I got to play and I got to take care of my grades, because as Coach Sabin said, it's always like NFL stands for not for long. So I don't
Mhm.
know. I'm just making all that stuff up. But because right now, what is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's got to be incentivized somehow. All right. So we're gonna upload Greg Byrne as well. I haven't even listened to what he had to
yeah,
say.
I don't know what his.
But we listened to
response
Coach
that was.
Sabin this morning. You can watch that on our YouTube channel. I cut like 6 minutes out of it. You can watch the full thing on Ted Cruz on his YouTube channel. He has 170,000 subscribers.
Ted Cruz does.
Yeah, we have
I-
100,000. No, I
know.
It's like
It's
so-
crazy.
yeah, it's amazing. And there's so many different places where you can get your YouTube news from now for free. So I think it's hard for like people to like, sell subscriptions in this day and age. When like, you know what? It's like, yeah, Instagram. Like ask Caden or people where they're getting their news from.
Oh, for sure. I mean, especially younger people.
How many sites are you paying for?
None.
Why?
You can get it for free, like on Twitter.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's what a time to be alive, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. When they're tweeting it away too, like why would you pay for it?
I know. The best is when it's like they post the information.
Like
And
the
then
teaser.
No, yeah, but it's the
But it's
prospects
the
have already.
actual information.
No, but it's like the players already tweeted out the information,
Yes.
and then they're like, "Come pay for it."
Yeah, and they're like, "Come read the full story." And like, what is the full story? Is it like include his height and weight or what?
Nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing
Nothing.
else. It's not already been
Oh.
tweeted out.
Yeah, or like the people talking about the team that don't even go to the media opportunities.
Yeah. Yes. We get the inside
We're the
scoop.
insiders from the outside of
Oh
the
my gosh.
practice facility.
Yeah. Whatever you want to call yourself.
Crazy. Antoine, man, I got your email as well, man. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And glad you got the gear, man. So, fam, we appreciate you guys so much for joining us. Miss Taylor, Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. We appreciate you guys more than you know. Stay tuned for any videos that might pop up right here on our YouTube channel. I'm going to go look for the Greg Byrne one and get that updated. And today we're going to the beach. So we appreciate you guys rocking with us. Definitely go check out that Coach Sabin talk from Capitol Hill today. And as news comes in, we got you covered at Bama Football on YouTube. Tonight at 7 p.m., you got Coach Jarek and Coach Sean. Yep. And then, I might be on. I might pop up for like a pop up.
And we're a little bit more back to normal the rest of the week.
Yeah,
right?
and I
like
think
other than Kyle on Thursday.
Yeah. So yeah, I will be out. Maybe probably like Thursday, Friday, maybe even Saturday, Sunday too. Yeah, I'll be maybe in the evening times. Then on that
The rest
next
of
Monday.
our guys are starting to come back, so.
And we'll even have Coach Merrill back, right?
Yeah, Merrill will be back on the 18th. So
yeah,
you guys can look forward to that.
Cool. All right, fam. Well, enjoy your day. We'll maybe I'll post like a YouTube short or something like that from the beach. But you guys enjoy your spring break. As news happens, come to Bama Football on YouTube. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for being a part of the Undefeated right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Run the thumbs up on all these videos, and we will catch you soon. Coming to you from Rosemary, Florida, Kyle Henderson and Taylor, both of Bama Football on YouTube.